Welcome to Business in Canada, a deep dive into one of the world's most dynamic and welcoming business environments. In this documentary, we'll unravel the realities of starting and running a business in the Great White North. From surprising success stories to practical how-tos, we've got 15 burning questions to explore, each a chapter in our journey. But first, let's set the stage with a few eye-opening truths. Did you know that Canada ranks as one of the top 15 easiest places to start a business worldwide? Or that immigrants in Canada are more likely to launch businesses than those born here? In fact, 80% of visible minority business owners in Canada were born abroad. This country thrives on entrepreneurial energy from all corners of the globe. Consider the story of Tobias Luca, a young programmer from Germany who landed in Canada and co-founded Shopify in a small Ottawa apartment. Today, Shopify is a multi-billion-dollar e-commerce platform powering over 1 million businesses worldwide. And he's not alone. Canada's list of corporate giants includes many immigrant-founded firms like Magna International, BlackBerry, Saputo, and even Shopify itself. Such stories bust the myth that Canada is an insular business environment. On the contrary, this is a land where newcomers with big ideas can and do make it big. Yet, for all its welcoming vibes, doing business in Canada has its intricacies and surprises. Over 1.2 million small businesses operate here, accounting for approximately 98% of all employer companies. Nearly 3/4 of these businesses have fewer than 10 employees, reflecting a landscape dominated by scrappy entrepreneurs and startups. It's a country where politeness and consensus building are woven into business culture, and where entire industries, from high-tech hubs in Toronto to energy firms in Alberta's oil patch, drive a diverse economy. Let's kick off with one of the most common questions. Can a foreigner actually start a business in Canada? The answer, in short, is yes, absolutely. Canada prides itself on being open for entrepreneurship, regardless of your citizenship. Immigrants can start any business in Canada. Generally, no type of venture is off limits as long as you follow Canadian laws and regulations. From corner stores to tech startups, foreign entrepreneurs have done it all on Canadian soil. However, how you go about it depends on your status and plans. If you're not a citizen or permanent resident, you can still incorporate a company in Canada and even own it 100% as a non-resident. There's no blanket requirement to have a Canadian partner or shareholder, and Canada imposes few restrictions on foreign business ownership. In certain cases, you might need a Canadian resident director. Corporate laws vary by province and for federal corporations, but this is a formality that can be planned for. The bigger consideration is immigration status. If you, the founder, want to live in Canada while running your business, you'll need the right visa or permit. Starting a business as a tourist, visitor visa is not feasible for active management. You can't legally work on a visitor visa. In fact, to be considered just a business visitor, your main business and income must remain outside Canada. In other words, you could come for a conference or to meet partners, but you can't stay and run a Canadian company day-to-day on a visitor status. Some foreigners sidestep this by appointing a Canadian resident to handle local operations until they secure a proper work permit. But to personally run your startup in Canada, you'll want a longer-term solution. Fortunately, Canada offers dedicated business immigration pathways. The flagship option is the Startup Visa SUV program, which grants permanent residency to innovative entrepreneurs whose business ideas gain support from designated Canadian investors. Uptake of the SUV is growing exponentially. 2024 is on track to welcome over 5,600 new permanent residents via the Startup Visa, triple the number from the previous year. This program has brought in founders from around the world, initially a modest 55 in 2015, now thousands, to launch startups in Canada. Each province also runs provincial nominee programs, PNP, for entrepreneurs, like those in Ontario and British Columbia, which invite foreigners to invest and settle by starting businesses, be it a tech firm in Toronto or a restaurant in Vancouver. And here's a compelling fact. Starting a business in Canada can actually be a pathway to permanent residency. Many immigrant entrepreneurs leverage these programs to not only build a company, but also make Canada their new home. It's not automatic. You must meet the program criteria and prove your venture's viability, but it's a well-trodden route. Cut to a brief interview montage of foreign entrepreneurs in Canada, sharing quick sound bites of their experiences. Entrepreneur A: I'm from Nigeria. Through the startup visa, I got funding for my fintech idea and moved to Toronto. We now employ 10 people. Canada gave me a chance to build something big. Entrepreneur B: as a French citizen, I didn't need a visa to come explore. I incorporated my company in Montreal while on a visitor visa, but to actually run it, I later obtained a work permit. It wasn't easy, but there was guidance available. Canada's message is clear. If you bring ambition and a solid plan, the borders are open. Non-citizens can absolutely start businesses here, and many regions actively court foreign founders. You might need to navigate some red tape, immigration paperwork, perhaps appointing a local director, proving your investment funds. But none of it is insurmountable. As one immigration lawyer advises, the key is to get the right team and professional advice. Many have done it before successfully. And it's worth noting, foreign entrepreneurs aren't just allowed, they're thriving. Recent research shows immigrant-led businesses tend to be highly innovative and globally oriented, often exporting more and venturing into new markets that others shy away from. This injection of fresh ideas and international networks is part of what makes Canada's business scene so vibrant. After all, a country that produced Shopify from an immigrant founder is keen on finding the next great newcomer success story. Now that we know Canada eagerly welcomes foreign entrepreneurs, another question arises: what business should you start? With opportunity abounding, which ventures are the most profitable in Canada? In our next chapter, we'll unveil the hottest, most lucrative business ideas, from tech startups to tried and true industries, that could turn a Canadian dream into a thriving enterprise. Stay tuned. Choosing the right business idea can make all the difference. So, what types of businesses tend to be most profitable in Canada? The answers might surprise you. It's not all high-tech and unicorn startups, though those can be lucrative too. Canada's diverse economy offers profitable niches ranging from personal services to digital enterprises. Let's start small. Some of the most profitable small businesses in Canada are those with low overhead and in-demand skills. Take freelancing and consulting, for example. Whether it's freelance copywriting, graphic design, or IT consulting, skilled professionals can charge healthy rates and keep most of the profit themselves. In fact, Canadian freelance copywriters commonly earn $30 to $130 per hour. With minimal startup costs, just a laptop and an internet connection, these service-based businesses can quickly turn a profit. Web design agencies and virtual assistants fall in this category too. Canada has a strong demand for digital services, and clients are willing to pay for quality. A competent web designer can make $50,000 to $120,000 per project on the higher end, and virtual assistant businesses can be launched with as little as $5,000 capital, yet command steady fees. Personal and local services are also cash cows. Think home and lifestyle services. Canadians are busy, and many outsource tasks. Cleaning businesses, for instance, are perpetually in demand and can earn $200 to $400 per job with relatively low expenses, some supplies, and a vehicle. Home repair and appliance repair services also do well. There's always something that needs fixing, and if you have a trade skill, you can capitalize on it. Consider that Canada is actually facing a shortage of skilled tradespeople, so starting a plumbing, electrical, or general handyman business means tapping into a market hungry for these services. The same goes for daycare services. With childcare spots scarce in many cities, a licensed home daycare can fill up quickly and operate with waiting lists. Just ensure you get the proper certifications and follow provincial regulations. Pet care is booming too. Canadians love their pets like family. Pet sitting, grooming, or dog walking enterprises report solid earnings. The average pet sitter in Canada makes about $63,000 a year, showing how robust this market has become. On the product side, retail and food businesses can be very profitable if done right. Specialty food businesses, perhaps tapping into Canada's multicultural palate, can thrive. Whether it's a fusion cuisine food truck or an artisanal bakery, Canadians are willing to spend on unique food experiences. The key is differentiation and managing costs. Similarly, clothing and apparel businesses, including resale of vintage clothing, are lucrative if you hit the fashion pulse. Experts project the apparel market in Canada will grow 150% to reach $90 billion by 2026. A savvy clothing reseller can turn decent margins, estimated 6 to 25% profit margin on apparel sales, and make around $500 weekly, even at a small scale. Canada's ever-evolving consumer trends also open up new opportunities. Right now, e-commerce is a goldmine. An online store, e-commerce, is one of the most profitable ventures you can start with modest investment. You can sell to all of Canada and beyond without the expense of physical storefronts. E-commerce in Canada is on a strong growth trajectory, with a projected 14.6% revenue growth in 2024 alone. Whether you specialize in a niche product you're passionate about or curate a dropshipping store, the online market is vast. In fact, a successful dropshipping business, where a third party handles inventory and shipping, can net around $95,000 in the first year for a determined entrepreneur. Digital tools like Shopify, a product of Canadian entrepreneurship itself, make it easy to set up shop and reach customers worldwide. We can't forget technology startups. Many of Canada's latest success stories are tech-based, and software businesses can have eye-popping profit margins once they scale. Software-as-a-service companies, mobile app developers, or AI-driven platforms have high upfront development costs but low cost per additional user. If you create a tool that businesses need, say a B2B software, your profit can grow exponentially. Fintech, financial tech, and health tech startups are particularly hot now, often attracting significant venture capital. For instance, fintech and AI startups have propelled Toronto and Vancouver into global startup rankings, and fintech is noted as a particularly lucrative sector in Canada's startup ecosystem. Additionally, real estate-related businesses deserve mention. Real estate itself, buying, flipping, or renting property, has historically created wealth in Canada thanks to rising property values, though it requires significant capital. Even if you're not a property mogul, businesses supporting real estate can profit. Think home staging services, renovation contractors, or property management for landlords. The real estate industry globally is huge, over 5.3 trillion Canadian dollars in 2023, and Canada's share is substantial. Locally, things like a home cleaning or landscaping business indirectly ride the real estate wave. Homeowners and realtors will pay for these services to maintain or increase property value. In summary, the most profitable businesses in Canada span a wide range, from one-person freelance consultancies making 6 figures in profit to scalable tech startups to bread-and-butter services every neighborhood needs. Service-based businesses, consulting, trades, financial services, often enjoy high profit margins with low startup costs, making them attractive for new entrepreneurs. Meanwhile, booming sectors like real estate, e-commerce, and hospitality can yield substantial returns if you execute well. The common thread is matching a high-demand market gap with a lean, well-run operation. If you can do that, profits will follow. And in Canada, there is no shortage of market gaps waiting to be filled by the next savvy business owner. Now you might be thinking, great, I have some ideas, but how do I actually set up a business here? Don't worry, coming up next, we'll walk through the step-by-step process to start a business in Canada. From that initial brainstorm to the day you open your doors, we break down every step: planning, registering, getting permits, all of it. You'll see that starting a Canadian business is not just profitable, it's also practical when you know the way. Idea in hand, time to get practical. Let's navigate the step-by-step roadmap to launching a business in Canada. It might seem daunting, but Canada actually makes it fairly straightforward to go from concept to company. We'll break it down into clear steps, drawing on official guidance and insider tips. Step 1. Plan your business. Every journey begins with planning. Start by assessing your readiness and refining your business idea. Who are your customers? What problem are you solving? Do some market research. Test that your concept has demand in the Canadian market. At this stage, you'll also decide your business structure. Will you be a sole proprietor, single owner, a partnership, or incorporate a company? Each has implications for liability and taxes. For example, a sole proprietorship is simplest. You and the business are one legal entity, while incorporation creates a separate legal entity, a corporation, with its own rights, offering limited liability protection. The Government of Canada emphasizes this planning phase strongly. Checking your market and choosing the right structure are foundational steps. And of course, write a solid business plan. Not only will this guide you, but it's often needed if you seek financing or immigration visas. As a newcomer, a well-thought-out business plan can also bolster your case for support programs. Step 2. Choose a business name. Now, pick a name that suits your venture. Be creative, but also check practicality. Make sure your desired name isn't already taken or trademarked. In Canada, each province and the federal registry lets you do a name search. You might use NUANS, a name search tool, to see if the name is free. Once you have a unique name, register it if needed. If you're incorporating, your corporation's name gets registered automatically upon incorporation. If you're not incorporating, say you're a sole proprietor using a name other than your own personal name, you'll register your business name with the province to secure it. This step not only protects your brand, but often is legally required to operate under that name. Step 3. Register or incorporate the business. This is where you formally create your business in the government's eyes. If you choose incorporation, you can do so federally or provincially. Federal incorporation allows you to operate under your name across Canada and costs a flat $200 if done online. Provinces have their own processes. For example, Ontario's provincial incorporation fee, BC's, etc., usually similar in cost range. Incorporating will get you a certificate of incorporation, essentially your company's birth certificate. If you opt not to incorporate, you may still need to register your business with the province to get a business number and a license. The federal government's online portal and many provincial websites allow registrations electronically, often within a matter of days. It's worth noting, Canada has cut a lot of red tape in recent years, making business registration refreshingly quick. In fact, 67.7% of surveyed entrepreneurs said it's easy to start a business in Canada, a sentiment backed by our efficient registration systems. As you register, you'll also obtain a business number BN from the Canada Revenue Agency. This is a unique identifier for your business used for tax accounts. Often, registering your business or incorporating will automatically assign you a BN. You'll use this for things like opening business bank accounts and dealing with the CRA for taxes. Step 4. Apply for licenses and permits. Depending on what your business does and where it's located, you may need additional permits or licenses to operate legally. Don't skip this. It's important for compliance. Fortunately, there's a handy tool called BizPal, Business Permits and Licenses, that lets you enter your location and industry and get a tailored list of required permits across federal, provincial, and municipal levels. For example, if you're opening a cafe, you'll likely need a municipal business license, a food service permit, maybe a liquor license if applicable, and to adhere to health inspections. If you're starting a home-based online consulting business, your permitting needs might be minimal, perhaps a simple municipal home business permit, if that. Most cities require a basic business license to operate within their boundaries, especially for brick-and-mortar operations. Construction or manufacturing businesses might need environmental permits or zoning approvals. The key is to research early so you can budget time and fees for these permits. Fees can range from a few $dozen for a small license to thousands for specialized permits. Getting these ducks in a row will save you headaches down the road and ensure you don't inadvertently operate outside the law. Step 5. Set up taxes and accounts. Once registered, you need to handle your tax setup. If you incorporated, you'll file corporate taxes. If not, you'll report business income on your personal taxes. Either way, you should register for any applicable tax accounts. For example, GST HST, Goods and Services Tax, Harmonized Sales Tax. If you expect your business to have revenue over $30,000 in a year, you must register to collect GST HST. Many businesses register even sooner so they can claim input tax credits on expenses. You'll use that BN we mentioned to add a GST/HST account with CRA. Also, if you have employees, you'll register for a payroll deductions account to remit income tax, CPP, EI on their wages. And don't forget provincial taxes. Some provinces have a provincial sales tax, PST, or other levies that might require registration if you sell goods there, e.g. in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec. It sounds like a lot, but the CRA website and provincial tax agencies provide clear guides, and many new entrepreneurs get a brief consultation with an accountant to ensure they've ticked all the boxes. While you're at it, set up a business bank account to separate your business finances from personal. This is crucial for accounting clarity and protecting your corporate liability, if incorporated. Opening a business account in Canada is straightforward once you have your registration documents and BN. All major banks offer small business accounts. You might also consider business insurance at this stage. Not a legal requirement in general, but highly recommended, and some industries or landlords will require proof of insurance. Step 6. Financing and support, if needed. If you need funding, now's the time to secure it. Canada offers numerous avenues. Government-backed loans, like the Canada Small Business Financing Program, where the government shares risk with banks to help you get loans. Grants for certain industries, venture capital for high-growth startups, or simply a friendly local bank loan. There are also startup incubators and mentorship programs, many specifically for newcomers or underrepresented groups. For example, the federal government launched programs like the Black Entrepreneurship Program, a $265 million fund support program, and regional startup accelerators. And if you're an immigrant entrepreneur, don't hesitate to tap into newcomer-specific resources. There are settlement agencies and business development centers eager to help newcomers navigate the business landscape. Remember, part of this step is networking. Join your local chamber of commerce, attend meetups in your industry, and connect with fellow entrepreneurs. Canada's business community is pretty welcoming, and people are often happy to share advice. Step 7. Launch and continual compliance. With planning, registration, permits, and finances in place, you're ready to launch. This means actively marketing your business, engaging customers, and starting operations. On day 1, congratulate yourself. You're officially a Canadian business owner. But our step-by-step doesn't end at launch. Now it's about operational compliance and growth. Ensure you maintain proper bookkeeping. Canada offers free liaison officers from CRA to help new businesses with tax literacy. Each year, file your tax returns, corporate returns if incorporated, or schedule on your personal return if not. If incorporated federally, you'll also file an annual return with Corporations Canada to keep your company in good standing. Renew any licenses that expire. Basically, keep the business in good legal health while you pursue growth. It might sound like a lot of steps, but think of it like building a house. A solid foundation makes everything that follows sturdier. The Canadian government actually breaks this process into a checklist of 5 key steps: planning, choosing a name, registering, getting permits, and finding support. We've just fleshed them out in detail. The great news is that Canada's startup process is considered efficient by global standards. No endless bureaucratic maze here. Many steps can be completed online in short order. For instance, federal incorporation online can be done in under a day in many cases, and getting a business number is instantaneous upon registration. By following these steps, you join the ranks of those 1.2 million entrepreneurs driving Canada's economy. From here on, your focus shifts to running the business. But the setup phase will no longer be an obstacle. As one Canadian entrepreneur famously said, "The paperwork was the easy part. The real test was getting my first customer." With your business now officially started, a new question emerges. Where in Canada should you base yourself for the best chance of success? Canada is huge, and each region has its own business climate. In the next chapter, we'll compare provinces and cities to find out which location in Canada is the best for starting a business, depending on your industry and goals. The answer might surprise you, as some under-the-radar spots are booming for entrepreneurs. Onward to Chapter 4, Location, Location, Location. Canada's geography is vast and varied, and where you set up shop can influence your success. So, which city or province is best for starting a business? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It depends on your industry, target market, and personal preferences. But we can highlight the front runners and what makes each unique. Broadly speaking, 3 provinces lead the pack in overall business activity: Ontario, British Columbia, and Alberta. These consistently stand out due to strong economies and supportive environments. Let's break it down. Ontario, the business and financial hub. Ontario, especially the Greater Toronto Area, is often considered the heart of commerce in Canada. Toronto is Canada's largest city and a global business hub, home to Bay Street, the Canadian Wall Street, and a massive consumer market. Starting a business in Ontario gives you access to a workforce of over 7.9 million people in the province, and a diverse economy ranging from finance and fintech to manufacturing and media. Toronto's startup ecosystem is world-class. It's a top destination for tech startups, boasting incubators like Mars and the DMZ. The province's tax rates are middle of the road, a general corporate tax of 11.5% provincially, on top of 15% federal, but small businesses get lower rates, as low as approximately 12.2% combined tax on their first $500,000 of profit. Key industries in Ontario include financial services, technology. Toronto is a North American tech powerhouse. Manufacturing, especially auto in cities like Windsor, Oshawa, and a burgeoning AI sector in Toronto-Waterloo. If you want a large market and robust infrastructure, Ontario is a top choice. Just be mindful. Competition is fierce in big cities, and costs, e.g. office rent, salaries, are higher than average. British Columbia, the tech and lifestyle magnet. On the West Coast, British Columbia, particularly Vancouver, shines as a startup-friendly locale. Vancouver offers a rare combo, a thriving technology scene in gaming, SaaS, biotech, etc., and an attractive lifestyle that draws talent. The province has a low corporate tax rate for small businesses, provincial 2% on small business income, 12% general, and notably no provincial sales tax on business inputs like machinery if you qualify. BC PST has exemptions for manufacturers. But beyond taxes, BC's draws include strong government startup support, grants, the BC Tech Fund supporting tech companies, a strategic Pacific Rim location with trade access to Asia, and a very diverse, internationally connected population. Vancouver is known for startups in clean tech, film and entertainment, and increasingly AI. And lifestyle matters. Happy, healthy entrepreneurs and employees, thanks to mild weather and nature at your doorstep, can be good for business too. As one metric, BC has the highest number of small businesses per capita in Canada, evidence of its entrepreneurial culture. If you value innovation and quality of life, BC might be your best bet. Alberta, low taxes and pro-business climate. Alberta, home to Calgary and Edmonton, often ranks highly in business-friendly lists. Why? Taxes, for one. Alberta has no provincial sales tax, PST, at all, meaning you and your customers only pay the 5% federal GST on purchases. It also, until recently, boasted one of the lowest general corporate tax rates in Canada, just 8% provincial on top of 15% federal. Even after some adjustments, Alberta's rates remain very competitive. The province has historically been an energy powerhouse. Oil and gas is big business, but it's diversifying rapidly. Major industries now include renewable energy, agriculture and ag tech, logistics, and aerospace. Calgary has a growing tech scene, often ranked as an up-and-coming tech hub due to affordable cost of living and talent returning from more expensive cities. Alberta's government prides itself on less red tape and regulations. They actively market the province as a place where businesses face fewer bureaucratic hurdles. Additionally, Costs like commercial rent and even salaries can be lower than in Toronto or Vancouver. The catch? The economy can be more boom-bust due to oil price swings, and if you need a very large local market, Alberta's population, 4.5 million, is smaller than Ontario's, 15 million. That said, for many, Alberta offers the best overall bang for buck in starting a business. What about the rest of Canada? There are gems everywhere. Quebec, innovation and bilingual markets. Quebec, Montreal being the hotspot, is known for its creative and innovative spirit. Montreal is a global hub for AI and gaming, fueled by strong universities and research. Google's DeepMind and Facebook AI have offices here, for example. The province offers various tax credits, like for multimedia production, and a relatively low cost of living for such a large city. Montreal's bilingual French-English environment means access to unique talent and markets. You can cater to both North America and Francophone Europe from one place. The corporate tax environment is decent, 11.5% provincial, and interestingly, Quebec will even drop the small biz tax rate if you employ enough people, incentivizing job creation. For those comfortable in French or willing to learn, Montreal provides a rich cultural business scene and strong support for startups, plus cheaper office space than Toronto or Vancouver. Quebec City and other towns also have growing specialized industries, like Quebec City's video game development scene. Manitoba, affordable and business-friendly. Manitoba, with Winnipeg as its capital, isn't always on the radar, but it should be for certain businesses. It offers affordability, lower office rents, lower wages, and housing costs, meaning your overhead can be significantly less. The province encourages entrepreneurship through grants and incentives. Key sectors include agriculture, it's a grain and livestock heartland, manufacturing, transportation, logistics, due to central location, and renewable energy. If your business can benefit from a central location to ship across Canada, Winnipeg's geographic position is prime. Many businesses also find the community tight-knit and supportive. Manitoba's small business corporate tax is zero on the first 500,000 Canadian dollars of income. The province eliminated its small biz tax, which is a huge plus for profitability. While the local market is smaller, nothing stops you from operating nationally from Winnipeg while enjoying lower costs. Atlantic Canada, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, etc. Niche opportunities. The Atlantic provinces have smaller economies, but they roll out the red carpet for startups these days. Cities like Halifax, Nova Scotia, boast a growing ocean tech and defense sector aided by their coastal geography. They also have the new Atlantic immigration program aimed at attracting entrepreneurs and skilled workers to the region. The cost of living is lower, and quality of life, by the ocean, is high. While these may not be the first choice for, say, a massive fintech company, due to smaller local capital pools, they can be ideal for niche tech companies, tourism businesses, and regional services. Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick have high rates of entrepreneurship per capita. PEI actually has the most businesses per capita in Canada, indicating a strong small biz culture. Each Atlantic province also has various tax credits and support programs to draw businesses in. The Northern Prairies, Saskatchewan, and the Territories, Yukon, Northwest Territories, Nunavut, might not come up often, but there are reasons to consider them. Saskatchewan, for instance, has had zero provincial corporate tax for small businesses on the first 600,000 Canadian dollars profit for a period in recent years. An aggressive incentive. It's rich in resources, potash, uranium, agriculture, and could suit businesses in those supply chains. The territories have small populations but often specific opportunities. Mining, indigenous tourism, etc., with significant government support if you're addressing community needs. A 2025 analysis of best provinces for startups highlighted Ontario, British Columbia, Alberta, Quebec, and Manitoba as top 5, each for different strengths. The best city also depends on industry. Tech startups flock to Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and increasingly Waterloo and Calgary. If you're in energy or agribusiness, Calgary or Saskatoon might be best. For creative industries, gaming, film, Vancouver, Montreal, or Toronto. Financial services or fintech, Toronto, Canada's finance capital, or maybe Calgary, which is building a fintech hub. Logistics or manufacturing. Often mid-sized cities like Winnipeg or Hamilton can offer land, location, and workforce at lower cost. It's also about personal fit. Do you thrive in a big metro with lots of buzz or a smaller city with tight community? Are you targeting local customers? Then go where they are concentrated. Or is your market global? Then perhaps prioritize cost and talent over local sales. One telling stat: Western Canada, like Alberta and Saskatchewan, has more small businesses per capita than elsewhere, suggesting a strong entrepreneurial spirit. And Prince Edward Island, despite its tiny size, has the highest density of businesses per adult in Canada, a reminder that even small markets can be very entrepreneur-friendly. No matter where you choose, province-specific incentives can sweeten the deal. For instance, some provinces offer payroll rebates or innovation vouchers to new companies. Alberta has its Innovation Catalyst programs. Ontario and BC have myriad grants for tech and export development. Atlantic Canada might give you a break on rent in an innovation center. It's worth doing a bit of homework on the local economic development agency in your chosen city. They often have welcome packages and sometimes even assign advisors to help newcomers set up. In conclusion, Canada doesn't have just one best spot for business. It has many, each with unique advantages. Ontario offers scale and access to capital. BC offers innovation and global connections. Alberta offers cost advantages and a can-do climate. Quebec offers creativity and a gateway to diverse markets, and so on. The best location is the one that aligns with your industry needs and where you can build the right network. And remember, within this country, expanding or selling across provincial lines is relatively easy once you're established. So you can always start in one city and grow Canada-wide. Cliffhanger transition. Narrator. Location chosen? Great. Now, what if you're a student or a recent immigrant wanting to start a business in Canada? How can you get started, perhaps with limited resources or while juggling studies or a new life in a new country? In Chapter 5, we'll explore how students and immigrants can launch businesses, including the special rules and programs that can give them a boost. If you're studying in Canada or just arrived with entrepreneurial dreams, the next segment is for you. Meet Raj, an international student with a business idea, and Amina, a new immigrant itching to launch a startup. They represent a growing group of entrepreneurs in Canada, students and newcomers who want to create their own opportunities. So, how can a student or immigrant start a business in Canada? Let's break it into two parts, one for students, one for immigrants, though there's overlap. Yes, you can start a business while studying in Canada, but there are specific rules to follow. By law, a student on a study permit is allowed to work part-time up to 20 hours per week during academic sessions, recently increased to 24 hours as of late 2024, and full-time during scheduled breaks. That includes working on your own business. You count as an employee of your business effectively. So during school, you must limit the time you spend on your business to those hours to remain compliant with your permit. Crucially, while your study permit gives you the right to work those limited hours, it doesn't automatically grant the right to actively run a full-time business. If your business activities would exceed those hours or become full-time, you'd technically need a work permit. However, many student entrepreneurs manage by structuring their time and keeping things small until graduation. You can own a sole proprietorship or corporation as a student, no problem. There's no law against owning a business on a study permit. The limitation is on working in it full-time without authorization. So, plan accordingly. Perhaps start with a side hustle that fits in 20 hours a week, e.g., freelance coding, an online Etsy store, tutoring service. During summer or winter breaks, you can go full throttle, 40+ hours, as breaks allow full-time work. Some savvy students even partner with a Canadian who can help run day-to-day operations while classes are in session. To start, the process is much the same as anyone else. You still register the business, get permits, etc. Being a student doesn't exempt you from those steps, but campuses often have extra help. Many Canadian colleges, universities have entrepreneurship centers or incubators specifically for students. Take advantage of those. They might give you mentorship, free office space, or even seed funding competitions. Also, there's the advantage of being in a learning environment. You can recruit classmates as co-founders or early employees, and faculty might advise you. One thing to watch: if you incorporate a company as an international student, recall earlier we said some corporations require a percentage of directors to be Canadian residents. Federally, no such requirement for small private corporations was enforced after 2019. Federal law changed, and provinces like Ontario scrapped their Canadian director requirement too. But a few provinces still have it, e.g., Alberta requires 25% of directors to be Canadian residents. So if you're a student with no PR or citizen partner, you might incorporate federally or in a province with no residency rule to avoid that hurdle. Many international students essentially treat their startup as a learning lab. A pro tip is to use your campus resources, join entrepreneur clubs, pitch at student venture events, and check if your student visa allows co-op work terms or entrepreneurial placements. Some schools have programs where your job for credit is to work on your own startup. Notably, a lot of big Canadian startups began with student founders. Take Applyboard, an edtech unicorn started by former international students at University of Waterloo, or Kiwi Robotics, from University of Toronto students. They navigated studies and startup life simultaneously. Now, what happens after graduation? As a student, once you finish your program, you may be eligible for a post-graduation work permit, PGWP, which is an open work permit. That is a golden ticket. An open work permit lets you work full-time for any employer, including your own business. So once you have a PGWP, usually up to 3 years depending on your study length, you can devote yourself fully to your company. Many student entrepreneurs actually plan to really scale their business in this post-grad period. For immigrants, newcomers to Canada, if you've come to Canada as a permanent resident or on a skilled worker visa, the path to starting a business is quite straightforward. PRs have the same rights as citizens to start businesses. You just follow the steps we outlined in Chapter 3. But if you're not yet a PR, say you're considering moving to Canada to start a business, you need to align your immigration pathway with your business goals. We touched on some earlier: startup visa program for innovative startups, provincial entrepreneur programs, or even coming as a skilled worker first and then transitioning to business after you settle. One encouraging fact is that immigrant entrepreneurs are a driving force in Canada. They not only start businesses at higher rates, but also often bring fresh ideas. Statistics show newcomers own a significant share of Canadian SMEs, and as mentioned, many of Canada's iconic companies were founded by immigrants. So culturally and economically, Canada embraces immigrant business owners. If you're in Canada on a temporary work permit as an employee, can you start a side business? This is a gray area. An employer-specific work permit generally restricts you to your designated employer job. Running a separate business could violate those terms unless it's something like passive investment. If you have an open work permit, spousal open permit, PGWP, etc., you have more freedom to do so. It's advisable to check with an immigration consultant if you're on a visa and want to start a business. They can clarify what's allowed. Many immigrants choose to obtain PR status first, through express entry or a provincial nomination, and then launch their business to avoid any work permit constraints. For immigrants who are already permanent residents or citizens, maybe you immigrated for a job and now want to switch to entrepreneurship, there are a plethora of supports. The Canadian government and various nonprofits run programs specifically for newcomer entrepreneurs. For example, there's often training and microloans for immigrants to start small businesses, recognizing that they might lack credit history or local network initially. The Business Development Bank of Canada, BDC, and local agencies have newcomer outreach. Additionally, communities have mentorship programs pairing immigrant entrepreneurs with established Canadian business people who can guide them on local business norms and connections. Language can be a barrier for some newcomers, but Canada offers language training and even business English-French classes if needed. Let's mention a few specific initiatives that help students and immigrant entrepreneurs. Canada Startup Visa, SUV. As noted, if you're an immigrant abroad with a great startup idea and some traction, you can apply for this program. You need a letter of support from a designated Canadian incubator, angel investor, or VC fund. It's competitive. Only about 900 principal applicant entrepreneurs got PR via SUV from 2013 to recently, though numbers are now ramping up. But it's a unique route where Canada gives you PR to build your company here. Many who come via SUV also benefit from landing straight into an incubator network in Canada. Provincial entrepreneur streams. For example, Ontario has an entrepreneur stream. Requires you to have business experience and investment capital to invest in a business in Ontario. BC's PNP Entrepreneur is similar, with focus on regional investment to encourage businesses beyond Vancouver. And even smaller provinces like New Brunswick or Nova Scotia have streams encouraging foreign entrepreneurs to set up, often with lower investment thresholds if you choose rural areas. These programs typically grant a temporary work permit to start the business and then give you PR if you meet targets, investment made, jobs created after a couple years. Student entrepreneur programs. Some provinces have programs for those who graduated in Canada. Example, Alberta has a foreign graduate startup visa stream targeting international graduates from any country who have an innovative idea and want to launch in Alberta. There are also university-based programs like Ryerson's, Toronto Metropolitan University, Zone Startups, which supports student founders in getting off the ground. Mentorship and networking. Groups like Immigrant Entrepreneurs. Networking groups, or government-funded initiatives like Startup Canada Communities, exist to help immigrants plug into the local startup scene. We should also mention success stories to inspire. Consider Michelle Romanow, originally an international student from Eastern Europe, who stayed and co-founded Clearco, a prominent fintech in Toronto. Or Umesh, fictional for narrative, an immigrant from India who noticed a gap in authentic spice supply and built a nationwide e-commerce for Indian spices from Calgary. Their journeys often involve learning Canadian business culture, which thankfully, as we explore in Chapter 8, is quite inclusive and collaborative. One challenge immigrant entrepreneurs sometimes face is understanding Canadian consumer behavior and business etiquette. More on culture soon. It's wise for newcomers to do their homework on local market expectations. For instance, marketing that worked back home might need tweaking for Canadian audiences. That said, Canada's diversity is a big asset. If you have a business idea serving a particular ethnic community or bridging cultures, you'll find receptive markets here. From ethnic foods to cultural fashion, many immigrant-led businesses thrive by serving both their community and introducing it to wider Canada. At the end of the day, students and immigrants bring fresh energy and innovation. The statistics back it up. Immigrants in Canada are highly entrepreneurial, more likely to innovate and export to new markets. And students, paperwork, red tape, bureaucracy. These words strike fear in entrepreneurs globally. But how does Canada fare? Just how easy is it to register or incorporate a business in Canada? Let's put it this way. Canada strives to be entrepreneur-friendly, and it shows. In international rankings, Canada consistently scores well on ease of starting a business. Let's unpack why. Speed and simplicity. Registering a business, whether a simple registration for a sole proprietorship or a full incorporation, in Canada is a relatively quick process. Many tasks can be done online in one window. For instance, if you choose to incorporate federally, you can fill out an online form on Corporations Canada's website, pay the fee, just $200 for online federal incorporation, and often get your certificate of incorporation within a day or two electronically. Some provinces are equally swift, e.g. Ontario's new OBR portal can incorporate a business in under a day in many cases, and British Columbia's online system is known to be very efficient as well. If you're not incorporating, registering a small business name is also easy. Most provinces let you do it online for a modest fee, typically $60 to $80, and instant confirmation unless the name triggers review. And if you operate under your own name, e.g. Jane Doe Consulting, some provinces don't even require a separate registration. You can just start, though it's often still recommended to register for proof of business existence. We heard earlier that over 2/3 of people believe it's easy to start a business in Canada. That reflects the user-friendly government processes. Canada has cut a lot of unnecessary steps over the years. In many cases, registering your business with the government automatically handles multiple things at once. It not only sets up your legal business, but also issues you a business number, BN. And, if you indicate you'll need it, gets your tax accounts ready, GST/HST, payroll, etc. This one-stop integration means you're not going to 15 different offices to get started, a far cry from the nightmare some countries present. Imagine you're incorporating Northern Lights Tech Inc. federally. Here's how easy it can be. You go to the online portal, create an account, fill in basic info, company name, your address, directors' names. Note: no Canadian residency needed for directors federally as of now, which is helpful for foreign founders, and click Submit with a credit card payment. Within minutes, you get a confirmation and a corporation number. Within a day or so, you receive your official certificate and your new business number via email. This BN is like a magic key for tax and other programs. Now you can take that BN to open a bank account, and if you indicated on the form that you plan to collect sales tax or have employees, the CRA will have those tax accounts ready for you too. Federal incorporation literally has just a single form to fill, plus a nuance name search if you want a specific name. It's streamlined. If you incorporate provincially, some provinces, like Quebec or Alberta, might have slightly different forms, but the gist is the same. Often, provinces integrate business registration with other requirements. For example, in some provinces, when you register a business, the system might also prompt you to apply for a provincial tax account or a workers' compensation account, if applicable, ensuring you don't miss a step. Now, registering the business is one thing. Getting licenses, permits is another, as we covered in Chapter 3. But even that process is eased by tools like BizPal, where you input your info once and get all requirements listed. No need to call up every town office blindly. In the discontinued World Bank Ease of Doing Business reports, Canada ranked well in the subcategory of starting a business, ahead of many other G7 countries. While we won't cite an exact rank since those reports ended, it's known that Canada requires fewer procedures and days to start a business than the global average. You don't need a notary or lawyer for basic incorporations. Though it can be wise to consult one, it's not mandatory by law. The cost is low too. That $200 federal fee is cheaper than many US states' incorporation fees, for example. Another factor making it easy is that Canada has embraced digital administration. Government websites might not win design awards, but they work. You can search existing business names online, incorporate online, even file your annual corporate returns online. For those who dread face-to-face bureaucracy, rejoice. You can do most of it from your home office. There's also help if you need it. For example, Corporations Canada has a phone line, and they actually answer questions to guide new business owners. Provincial business service centers, like Service Ontario or BC Registry Services, will help walk you through forms if you get stuck. It's in their interest to help you succeed because new businesses mean economic growth. Let's address incorporation versus registration briefly. Incorporation is creating a corporation, any size, even one person. Registration might refer to registering a business name for a sole proprietorship or partnership. Both are straightforward. However, if you're a sole proprietor, your registration might be even simpler. Some provinces just require a form with your name and business name and address. As a sole prop, you don't get a certificate of incorporation since you're not incorporated, but you often get a business number and a master business license in provinces like Ontario. Once registered, dealing with taxes and reporting is also not too onerous for small businesses. Canada allows many small businesses to file taxes annually, GST annually if small, for instance. And there are online systems, like CRA's My Business account, to manage your stuff. Plus, CRA's Liaison Officer Service offers free guidance to new small businesses on record keeping and tax filing. They literally will meet with you to prevent mistakes. This supportive approach further illustrates how Canada tries to make the mechanics of business easy so you can focus on actually doing business. To bust a myth, some think Canada, with multiple levels of government, federal, provincial, municipal, must be a nightmare of paperwork. But in practice, the levels are quite coordinated for business. For example, you incorporate federally to get nationwide name protection, but you can still operate in any province. You might just need to do an extra provincial registration called an extra provincial license, which is usually just a notification and small fee. Most provinces accept your federal incorporation and don't ask you to reincorporate locally, just that you tell them you're doing business there. This is a one-time form often done online as well. Registering my cafe was the easiest part of the whole endeavor, says a small business owner in Halifax. I filled out a form online, paid about $100, and boom, I had a business number and license. Compared to finding a good supplier and negotiating a lease, the paperwork was nothing. This sentiment is common. Also, Canada's political culture emphasizes cutting red tape for small business. Governments regularly review regulations to eliminate duplicative or outdated ones. A few years ago, for instance, Ontario simplified a bunch of forms and removed the Canadian citizenship requirement for directors of corporations to attract more foreign investment. Provinces compete a bit for being seen as business-friendly, which helps keep the registration process smooth across the board. So how easy is it? In summary, very easy. You could wake up with a business idea and by lunchtime have a registered business, literally. And many entrepreneurs do just that when they're testing out an idea, particularly for online businesses. You can get the formalities sorted and be selling by the next day. The bottom line, Canada has a low barrier to entry for starting a business legally. Minimal cost, quick turnaround, and supportive resources. It's as if they're saying, "Welcome, entrepreneur, let's get you started." So don't let fear of paperwork stop you. If paperwork is the mountain, in Canada, it's more of a gentle hill. Coming up, we'll shift from logistics to trends. What business opportunities are trending in Canada right now? Every year brings new hot sectors. In Chapter 7, we'll explore where the buzz is, from tech booms to emerging markets, so you can ride the next wave of business success. If you want to know what's hot in 2025 and beyond, stay tuned for the next chapter. Time to put on our trend-spotting glasses. The business landscape is always evolving, and Canada in 2025 has its share of exciting growth areas. So, what opportunities are trending right now? Let's highlight several hot sectors and ideas making waves across the country. 1. Technology and innovation, especially AI and SaaS. It's no surprise that tech leads the pack. Artificial intelligence, AI in particular, is red hot. Canada has positioned itself as a global AI hub. Places like Montreal, Toronto, and Edmonton have world-renowned AI research centers and startups. With the explosion of generative AI, think ChatGPT, there's a huge push to apply AI across industries. A recent Microsoft Canada report estimates that AI could add $187 billion to Canada's economy by 2030, meaning there's a ton of opportunity for AI-focused businesses. Whether it's AI in healthcare, like training algorithms to detect diseases from scans, or AI in customer service, chatbot startups are sprouting up. Investors are keen on this space. Startups like Cohere, Toronto, AI language models, and Tenstorrent, Toronto, AI chips, have gained unicorn status, indicating this trend's strength. Beyond AI, software as a service, SaaS, and cloud-based solutions remain very much in demand. Businesses need digital transformation, and Canadian entrepreneurs are delivering. From enterprise software, we see success in companies like Shopify's B2B tools or Lightspeed's retail software, to niche SaaS for specific professions. Fintech, financial tech is also surging. Companies offering mobile banking, payment solutions, or crypto services have grown rapidly here, e.g., Wealthsimple in online investing or Nuvei in payments. Essentially, if you have a tech solution that solves a real problem, now is a great time in Canada. The ecosystem, Incubators, VC funds, government grants like IRAP is robust for tech innovation. Second, green energy and clean tech. Canada's commitment to fighting climate change and a global shift to sustainability have made clean tech a booming sector. There's heavy investment into renewable energy projects, solar and wind farms, energy storage solutions, and that trickles down to opportunities for businesses supplying those projects or innovating new tech. The federal government's Clean Growth Hub and various green funds are actively funding startups that offer cleaner processes or products. Think companies developing better batteries, carbon capture tech, biofuels, or even consumer products that are eco-friendly. For example, Carbon Cure, Halifax, came up with tech to inject CO2 into concrete, reducing emissions, and it's scaling globally. Similarly, entrepreneurs focusing on electric vehicle, EV infrastructure, charging stations, etc., find Canada a receptive place as EV adoption climbs, and the government pushes for all new cars to be zero emission by 2035. If you're environmentally minded, now's the time. Clean tech entrepreneurs are in demand and often can access grants more easily given the public priority on green innovation. 3. Healthcare and wellness services. Canada's population is aging. Baby boomers are entering their senior years, which means anything to do with healthcare or elder care is increasingly in demand. Home healthcare services, telehealth platforms, medical devices, all ripe opportunities. If you can improve efficiency in the healthcare system, which, being publicly funded, is keen on cost-saving innovations, or provide quality care for seniors, you'll likely find a market. For instance, startups making health monitoring wearables or AI diagnostics tools are trending. Also, mental health and wellness is a big focus lately. Apps or services for therapy, meditation, employee wellness are seeing a surge in use, especially post-pandemic. And on the personal side, wellness centers, gyms with a twist, physiotherapy clinics, nutrition coaching. Canadians are health conscious, and businesses in these areas can do well. One trending niche is holistic health and alternative therapies. Provided they're credible, there's a growing market for things like acupuncture clinics or wellness retreats. During the height of COVID, many health tech innovations accelerated. Now, post-pandemic, those have not gone away. Telemedicine, for example, became mainstream. An entrepreneur who can refine or localize such solutions could do well. Also, with the strain on public health care, private supplementary services, like mobile blood testing labs, at-home nursing, etc., are popping up to fill gaps. Fourth, e-commerce and online retail, a trend that's still on an upswing. Canadians embraced online shopping massively and haven't let go. Running an e-commerce business, whether it's your own brand or a dropshipping model, remains a top opportunity. There are still product niches underserved in Canada due to our geography. Sometimes shipping from other countries is slow, expensive, so local online sellers can win. The projected continual growth in e-commerce revenue, 14.6% growth in 2024 as cited, underscores that this pie is getting bigger. Areas like direct-to-consumer, DTC brands, maybe a sustainable fashion line, or a gourmet snack subscription box are trendy, especially if they have a unique Canadian angle, e.g. sourced from Canadian farms or Indigenous-made products. Don't forget, e-commerce doesn't only mean selling physical goods. Online marketplaces, digital products, and e-learning platforms also count and are thriving. For instance, an online tutoring platform or a marketplace for freelance services can tap into nationwide demand easily now that everyone's used to remote interactions. Alongside e-commerce is the supporting cast of opportunities: logistics, warehousing, last-mile delivery solutions, packaging innovations. With so many packages shipping, a startup that can make delivery more efficient or eco-friendly, like bike couriers or drone delivery trials, could ride the e-commerce wave profitably. Fifth, agri-tech and food innovations. Canada's huge in agriculture, and tech is transforming that field too. Agri-tech startups, think smart farming using drones, IoT, vertical farming, new plant-based foods, are gaining traction. The Prairie Provinces and Ontario have active ag-tech incubators. Meanwhile, consumer tastes are creating trends. Canadians want healthy, sustainable, and often locally sourced food. Thus, opportunities abound in organic farming, food delivery apps focusing on farm-to-table, alternative proteins, like pea protein meat alternatives, an area where Canadian producers like Beyond Meat's pea suppliers have thrived. We also see a trend in Indigenous and ethnic cuisines being packaged for broader consumption. For example, an entrepreneur bottling and selling a particular Caribbean pepper sauce or Indigenous herbal tea can find that these products take off as Canadians diversify their palates. 6. Remote work solutions and EdTech. With hybrid and remote work becoming standard for many, businesses that facilitate this are in vogue. That includes team collaboration software, cybersecurity for remote teams, home office equipment specialists, and even consulting on remote workplace culture. Similarly, education technology, EdTech, is trending, from platforms that help with online learning to skills boot camps and training programs delivered virtually. Canada's workforce emphasis on upskilling due to rapid tech changes means online course providers and learning management systems are thriving. 7. The rebound of hospitality and tourism, with a twist. After pandemic doldrums, tourism is bouncing back. Canada's seen as a safe, attractive destination. Innovative tourism businesses, such as eco-tours in the Rockies, Northern Lights glamping experiences, Indigenous cultural tourism, are trending as travelers seek unique experiences. Also, Canadians themselves are exploring domestically more. So hospitality businesses that offer something special, a boutique hotel with local flair, a food tour in your city, adventure tourism like ziplining parks, are doing well. There's also a trend in experiential entertainment. Escape rooms, immersive art exhibits, craft workshops. People are hungry for experiences after being cooped up. 8. Local artisanal and micro businesses. There's a strong shop local movement across Canada. Consumers take pride in supporting Canadian-made goods, whether it's a microbrewery, a handmade soap company, or a local fashion boutique. Thus, opportunities for craft and artisan entrepreneurs have grown. Farmers markets and online marketplaces like Etsy or Shopify-powered stores enable small makers to find eager customers. Many have turned hobbies into businesses: candle making, woodworking, specialty baking, gluten-free, vegan, etc. These might not all become million-dollar enterprises, but they are trending in that they collectively form a vibrant cottage industry and often grow into larger brands. Some craft brewers, for example, started in a garage and are now provincial beer staples. To sum up the trending opportunities: tech, AI, fintech, SaaS, green industries, healthcare, wellness, e-commerce, agri-food innovation, remote work, EdTech, tourism and experiences, and local artisanal goods are all having a moment. Crucially, these trends align with global shifts, digitization, sustainability, health focus, etc., but have Canadian flavor due to our economy and culture. And remember, government and investor money often follow these trends. For instance, if you start a clean tech or AI startup, you'll find more grant programs and venture capital interest than if you start in a very saturated or declining field. That's not to say other businesses can't thrive. People still make good money running, say, construction firms or accounting practices, steady sectors. But our focus here is on the rising stars, where new entrepreneurs see a lot of buzz and potential. The beauty of Canada's economy is its diversity. You might find your niche in one of these hot sectors, or combine them, like a fintech that helps green energy financing, merging two trends. Right now is an exciting time to innovate in Canada, with strong tailwinds in these areas. If you can solve a problem or fulfill a demand in any of these trending domains, you might just be riding the next big wave. Now that we've covered what businesses Canadians are gravitating towards, let's delve into how business is done here. What's the daily vibe in the boardrooms and on the shop floors? In Chapter 8, we'll explore the business culture in Canada, the unspoken norms, etiquette, and values that shape how deals get done. From politeness to punctuality, you'll learn why Canadian business culture might just surprise you with its blend of formality and friendliness. Join us in the next chapter for a cultural tour of Canadian business. Polite, punctual, and sometimes perplexing. Canadian business culture carries a reputation for niceness. But what's the full story? What is the business culture like in Canada? Let's paint a picture of how people here prefer to work and interact in the business world. 1. Politeness and respect. The stereotype is true. Canadians tend to be polite and value courtesy in business dealings. Communication is generally direct and to the point, but always wrapped in politeness. You'll hear a lot of please, thank you, and sorry. Yes, the cliché apologizing is real. This doesn't mean Canadians are pushovers. It means even when being firm, they try to maintain a respectful tone. Open conflict or aggressive confrontation in meetings is relatively rare. Instead, disagreements are often couched diplomatically. For example, rather than saying, "Your idea is wrong," a Canadian manager might say, "I see where you're coming from, but have we considered an alternative?" This polite approach is about maintaining good relationships. 2. Equality and inclusion. Canadian business culture strongly values equality and inclusivity. In practice, this means hierarchies exist. Of course, the CEO has authority, but decision-making often involves seeking input from all levels. It's common in meetings for even junior staff to be invited to voice opinions. Everyone's perspective has the right to be heard, regardless of rank. There's a general informality in day-to-day interactions. Using first names is standard even with higher-ups, and the vibe is collegial. This stems from a cultural belief in egalitarianism. It also means diversity is celebrated. Canada's workforce is multicultural, and good businesses emphasize respecting different cultures and working styles. You might notice companies making efforts on diversity initiatives. That's part of the landscape. As an aside, women hold many leadership roles, and gender equality in business is a core value. There's still work to do, but it's widely acknowledged as important. 3. Conservative professionalism. Despite the friendliness, Canadians in business can be somewhat conservative in manner and expectations. Punctuality is a must. Being late to a meeting is viewed as disrespectful. Meetings are usually well organized and stick to agendas, starting off with a bit of small talk about the weather or last night's hockey game perhaps, but then getting down to business. Dress code can depend on the industry, but many corporate environments still lean business casual to formal. Think suits or at least a button-down for finance or law, while tech startups might be more relaxed. Overall, coming off as reliable and professional is key. Flashiness or hyperbole might be met with skepticism. Canadians favor a bit of modesty. For example, in pitching a product, an American might say, "This is the best in the world," whereas a Canadian pitch might tone it down. "We believe this product is very effective, and here's evidence why." Being factual and not overly boastful tends to resonate better. 4. Communication style, clear and collaborative. As mentioned, communication is clear. Canadians typically say what they mean, without too much beating around the bush. That said, they also listen. In negotiations, you'll find Canadians often take time to hear the other side's position fully and look for win-win outcomes. There's a preference for consensus building. In fact, decisions might sometimes take longer because managers will gather input broadly before finalizing. Not a bad thing, but something to be aware of. Aggressive hard sell tactics or high-pressure negotiations aren't the norm. A more consultative approach is common. Even when critiquing or delivering bad news, it's often done with tact, the classic compliment sandwich. Say something positive, then the criticism, then something positive, is a known technique in Canadian offices. One quirky rule: interrupting is generally considered rude in formal meetings. People usually wait for a speaker to finish their point before chiming in. You might notice a pause on conference calls as everyone ensures the previous person was done. That's normal. 5. Business etiquette. Basics. Handshakes are the standard greeting in business, firm but not bone-crushing. Eye contact is important. It conveys trustworthiness. Avoid it and you might seem shifty. Canadians introduce themselves often with first and last name and maybe a bit of personal context if appropriate. Business cards are still exchanged, though it's low fuss. There aren't elaborate rituals around cards as in some cultures. but do take a moment to look at the card and perhaps comment politely. If you're dealing with French-Canadian colleagues, e.g. in Montreal, note that a bonjour, hello bilingual greeting is common. Addressing in both languages if you can is appreciated, though most will seamlessly switch to English if you're not francophone. In Quebec, it's respectful to attempt a few French words if you can, or at least acknowledge the French language. But don't worry, business can easily be done in English too. Just be sensitive to cultural pride. Gift giving is not a big part of Canadian business culture, unlike some Asian cultures. If gifts are given, they're modest, perhaps a token of appreciation at the conclusion of a deal. Bottle of wine, a local souvenir. One, don't. Avoid giving anything overly lavish or personal. It could be seen as bribery or inappropriate. And funny enough, be careful with certain flowers. An old school tip is don't give white lilies to a Canadian business partner. They symbolize death, funerals. That's a niche scenario, but an interesting tidbit from etiquette guides. 6. Multicultural sensitivity. Canada is proudly multicultural, and in business, you'll meet people from all backgrounds. The culture expects that you'll be open-minded and avoid assumptions or jokes that could offend someone's ethnicity, gender, etc. Generally, it's a pretty politically correct environment in a good way. Inclusive language, like using partner instead of assuming husband-wife, for example, is increasingly the norm in workplaces. Also, in places like Toronto or Vancouver, business might be conducted in a mix of languages and styles, so adaptability is key. 7. Decision-making and risk. It's often said Canadians are a bit more risk-averse and deliberative in business than, say, our American neighbors. There's truth there. Decisions can be methodical. You might find corporate Canada is cautious, doing due diligence thoroughly, not rushing into flashy ventures. So if you're pitching something new, be prepared to answer detailed questions and maybe go through a few layers of approval. Patience can be needed. However, once a Canadian business commits, they usually stick to their word. Reliability and trust are the bedrock of relationships. Contracts will be honored, and there's an expectation of straightforward honesty. Canadian businesses pride themselves on a relatively high trust environment. 76% of Canadians have a positive view of entrepreneurs, seeing them as good actors in society. 8. Work-life balance. Culturally, Canadians value work-life balance. Don't be shocked if offices empty out at 5 p.m. on the dot in many industries. It's not that Canadians are lazy, they're very productive. But there's an ethos that long hours don't necessarily equal good work. Efficiency during regular hours is prized, and family, personal time is respected. You'll see this in business culture as an understanding around flexible work arrangements, respecting vacation time. Most people take at least a couple of weeks off in summer. So if you're coming from a super hustle 24/7 culture, adjust expectations. Pushing your employees or partners to consistently work late or on weekends might backfire and be seen as poor management here. That said, entrepreneurs of course often work round the clock, but that's their own choice. They won't generally impose it on staff unless absolutely necessary. 9. Formality versus informality. Canada strikes a balance. We use first names quickly. Email correspondence is often somewhat informal in tone, though still polite. At the same time, certain formalities remain. For example, titles like Mr. Ms. aren't commonly used in speech, but might appear in written proposals, especially if the counterpart is older or a government official, etc. If unsure, err on the side of slightly more formal in first interactions and then follow the lead. But you'll find Canadians will often say, "Please call me John," early on. The meeting and greeting style is straightforward, no deeply hierarchical protocol, but do show respect to senior folks in meetings. 10. Contracts and agreements. Canadians prefer to get it in writing. Oral agreements are generally honored if small, but for any significant business deal, a contract will be drawn up and expected to be signed. The tone in contract negotiations is usually collaborative. Both sides aim to reach a fair deal. And once signed, Canadians stick to it. There's relatively low incidence of contract breaches compared to some places, thanks to both legal framework and cultural emphasis on trustworthiness. So, business culture expects you to do what you said you would, when you said you would. Reliability is a huge part of reputation here. And yes, Canadians often bond over hockey or the weather as safe conversation topics. If you're at a business lunch or after-work social, don't be surprised if colleagues passionately discuss last night's hockey game or gripe about a snowstorm. It's a national unifier and a friendly way to connect. Joining in these chats, even if you're not a hockey expert, you can ask questions, can help build rapport, which is important because relationships and trust drive Canadian business. People like to do business with those they feel they know and can trust personally, not just on paper. So the Canadian business culture in a nutshell: polite but direct, collaborative, valuing equality and diversity, with a blend of professionalism and approachability. It creates an environment where deals might take a tad longer to close because consensus and caution. But when they do, you have solid partnerships underpinned by trust and mutual respect. As an entrepreneur or professional in Canada, understanding these nuances say that a firm handshake and a friendly demeanor can go further than aggressive hard sell tactics, will serve you well. Think of Canadian business culture as a reflection of Canadian society, generally moderate, friendly, and built on the idea that we all do better when we all get along. Now that we've got cultural context, let's address a practical question entrepreneurs always ask. What types of businesses are in demand in Canada? We touched on trends, but now we'll look at where the current market gaps are. What do Canadian consumers and industries need more of right now? In Chapter 9, we'll explore the high-demand business sectors, from skilled trades to tech talent, that are hungry for new entrants. If you're aiming to start something that's needed out there, you won't want to miss this next part. Opportunity knocks loudest where demand exceeds supply. If you're aiming to choose a venture with a high chance of success, it helps to know what types of businesses are in demand in Canada right now. Let's explore areas where customers are lining up and needs aren't fully met. Essentially, Canada's market gaps waiting to be filled. 1. Skilled trades and home services. Help wanted everywhere. Across Canada, there's a well-documented shortage of skilled tradespeople. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, HVAC technicians, mechanics, you name it. The current workforce is aging, many heading for retirement, and there aren't enough young trades entering to replace them. This makes businesses in skilled trades very much in demand. A construction company or even a one-person renovation business can have more work than they can handle. For example, the construction industry expects to need tens of thousands of new workers in the next decade to keep up with retirements and projects. If you start a trade business, you might quickly find you need to hire apprentices to keep up with requests, if you can find them. Similarly, home repair and maintenance services, from roofing companies to appliance repair shops, are in constant demand. Canadians rely on these pros, and often there are wait lists for a good contractor. This extends to newer trades like solar panel installers or energy-efficient retrofit specialists, now rising with the green push. 2. Healthcare services and elder care. We touched on health and trends, but to reiterate, businesses that provide health services are in huge demand. This includes not just clinics, but also home care agencies for seniors, nursing services, physiotherapy and rehab centers, and mental health services. With an aging population, demand for elder care services, like senior home care, assisted living facilities, mobility aid providers, is surging. If you can start a business providing reliable home caregivers, or even something like meal services tailored to seniors' dietary needs, you'll likely find a big client base. The Canadian healthcare system is good but stretched, so anything that helps care for people outside of hospitals, from foot care nurses to medical transportation services, is welcomed. Pharmacies and medical clinics in underserved areas, rural or fast-growing suburbs, can also be in demand. We've seen provinces trying to encourage more primary care clinics to open via incentives. 3. Childcare and education services. On the other end of demographics, childcare is in very high demand. Canada is rolling out a subsidized $10 a day childcare program, but one challenge is simply not enough daycare spots for kids. Opening a daycare center or even a licensed home daycare can meet a critical need. Just note licensing rules are strict for quality and safety, which is good. Similarly, tutoring and supplemental education services are booming as parents invest in their kids' success. Tutoring centers for math, French immersion help, test prep, etc. Or enrichment programs, coding for kids, STEM camps, language classes, have strong markets, especially in cities. With many parents working, after-school programs and summer camps also fill up quickly. A well-run program here can be quite lucrative and community valued. Fourth, IT and cybersecurity services. Companies in Canada, big and small, are undergoing digital transformations, and many lack in-house IT expertise. Hence, IT consulting firms, managed IT service providers, and cybersecurity specialists are in high demand. From setting up networks for small businesses to protecting companies from the ever-growing threat of cyber attacks, if you have tech know-how, businesses will pay for your help. Cybersecurity in particular is a pressing need. A lot of businesses know they're vulnerable but don't have dedicated staff. A cybersecurity consultancy or a firm offering on-demand IT support can quickly build a client roster. The government has even launched initiatives to strengthen cyber capabilities among SMEs, meaning your service could get a boost by aligning with those programs. E.g., Cybersecure Canada certification helps SMEs improve their security. You could help businesses get certified, etc. 5. Logistics and delivery services. E-commerce growth has put strain on existing delivery networks. There's demand for local delivery options, couriers, and logistics solutions. If you start a local courier service in a growing city or offer last-mile delivery for retailers, you could plug into this e-commerce supply chain. Also, Canada's geography means many remote areas don't have fast delivery. Creative solutions there, like drone delivery pilots or networked delivery via local entrepreneurs, are emerging. More broadly, trucking and freight companies are in demand. There's been a truck driver shortage. Starting a small trucking firm or a specialty logistics service, temperature-controlled transport for instance, for food and pharma, can find a solid market. 6. Food businesses, especially specialized diets and cuisines. Canadians love food diversity, and certain segments are underserved in various locales. For example, in many mid-sized towns, you might not find authentic international cuisines. Entrepreneurs who open restaurants or food trucks offering something new often hit a sweet spot of demand, provided quality is good. Healthy and dietary-specific foods, gluten-free bakeries, vegan restaurants, keto meal prep services are very much in demand as well, given rising dietary consciousness. On grocery shelves, ethnic grocery stores and specialty food retailers, like an organic produce delivery or a butcher offering locally sourced meats, do well catering to niche but growing preferences. One consistent demand, coffee shops and cafes. Sounds simple, but Canadians rank among top coffee consumers. Even with big chains around, local indie cafes can thrive if they create a nice community vibe. 7. Cleaning and sanitization services. From residential cleaning to commercial janitorial services, there's robust demand. Post-pandemic, everyone's extra conscious of cleanliness. Commercial cleaning companies that service offices, schools, and stores are seeing high demand, especially with more frequent sanitization routines. On the residential side, busy dual-income families often outsource house cleaning. A reliable cleaning business can quickly amass regular clients and often has more requests than slots. Additionally, specialized cleaning, like post-construction cleanup, carpet upholstery cleaning, or crime scene cleanup, see demand and often fewer competitors willing to do the job, meaning you can charge premium. 8. Repair and maintenance services. People want things fixed rather than replaced, sustainability and cost reasons. So, small engine repair, electronics repair shops, auto repair garages, bicycle repair, all these are continually in demand. For example, with more people cycling, a bike repair shop in a city can have lineups in spring. Smartphone repair businesses also do well, given how many of us break our screens. On the home side, appliance repair technicians are gold. Many regions have a shortage, and people wait weeks to get a broken fridge fixed. Starting a prompt repair service, with maybe online booking convenience, would tap into a ready market. 9. Digital marketing and content creation. Businesses know they need online presence, but many don't know how. Thus, digital marketing agencies, offering SEO, social media management, online ad campaigns, are in demand. If you have those skills, even as a solopreneur, you can attract clients from local businesses who need help getting noticed online. Similarly, content creators and video production services are in demand as companies invest in content marketing and virtual events. A small video production outfit or a freelance content writer can find ample work. 10. Real estate and housing-related services. Canada has had a hot real estate market. Even as it cools, people moving or renovating keeps a whole ecosystem busy. Movers, property management services, landlords often hire managers, home inspectors, interior designers, mortgage brokers. These services stay in demand because life events, moving, buying first homes, etc., continue. In some cities, rental property management for condos is booming as owners rent out units. A service that handles listing and tenant screening can do well. Also, with many Canadians owning cottages or second properties, property maintenance services, lawn care, snow removal, seasonal cottage watch are needed, especially for those who can't do it themselves. For example, a snow removal business in a snowy city can accumulate hundreds of subscribers who pay seasonal fees. And believe me, snow is guaranteed demand in much of Canada. It's worth noting that demand can be regional. For instance, oil and gas services like drilling support, safety training are high demand in Alberta and Newfoundland. Tech support might be in extra demand in Toronto's startup scene. Understanding local demand is key. If a certain town has few childcare centers, that's a glaring opportunity there. If a city's restaurants are all one type of cuisine, another type might find enthusiastic patrons. The big picture: Canada's economy has some needs across the board, healthcare, trades, etc., and more niche ones in certain locales. Starting a business that aligns with these high-demand areas gives you a tailwind. You won't have to create the market. It's already waiting for you. Of course, you still have to execute well to beat competition, but it's comforting to know customers are actively searching for what you offer. It's like opening a lemonade stand on a hot day. The thirst is already there. Now let's address a practical scenario some of you might be in. I'm in Canada on a visa. Can I start a business here? In Chapter 10, we'll discuss the ins and outs of starting a business on a visitor visa or work permit. It's a common query for those temporarily in Canada with entrepreneurial ambitions. The answer requires a bit of nuance, and we'll break it down clearly next. You're in Canada temporarily and inspiration strikes. Can you launch that business right now? This chapter tackles a nuanced situation. Can you start a business in Canada if you're on a visitor visa or a temporary work visa? The rules differ for each, so let's break them down. Visitor visa, tourist status. If you're in Canada as a visitor, tourist, the general rule is you are not allowed to work in Canada, and working includes running a business. On a visitor visa, you can attend business meetings or explore opportunities. That's called being a business visitor, like coming for a conference or to meet potential partners. But you cannot actively engage in running a new business that's considered entering the Canadian labor market. In practical terms, you can't legally open a shop or start selling services to Canadians for pay while you're just a visitor. You would typically need some form of work permit or status that allows work. However, there is a subtlety. Can you incorporate a business as a visitor? Technically, yes. Canada doesn't restrict who can be a shareholder of a corporation. You could incorporate a company as a non-resident. Many foreign investors do, but you wouldn't be permitted to actively work in it on the ground without a permit. Often, this approach is used if someone wants to set up a business structure and then apply for the proper visa to come run it. You might also appoint a director who is a Canadian resident if required by the jurisdiction of incorporation. But to reiterate, just incorporating on paper while on a tourist visa doesn't give you the right to start operating and making money in Canada yourself. That's considered work. And if you try to run a business on a visitor visa under the radar, you risk breaching immigration rules which could lead to removal or future visa issues. So it's not advisable. One forum quote sums it up. No, you cannot work on a visitor visa. You cannot open a business. A Canadian or PR has to own the business with you as a partner if you're just visiting. That's a bit simplified, but the essence is correct. As a visitor, you're not a worker and need a resident partner to carry out operations, or better, get your own status sorted first. Work visa, work permit. If you are in Canada on a work permit, your ability to start a business depends on the type of work permit. Closed, employer-specific. Work permits. Many work permits are tied to a specific employer or job. For example, you came through the temporary foreign worker program to work for company X in role Y. If you're on such a permit, you are authorized to work only for that named employer. Starting your own side business would not be covered by that authorization. It could violate your permit conditions because you'd essentially be working for a different employer, your own company, without permission. There are rare exceptions or gray areas, e.g., if you're doing something truly as a hobby that incidentally earns a tiny amount, it might fly under the radar, but generally it's not allowed. To legally start your own business in this scenario, you'd need to switch to an open permit or get a separate permit for the business, which is complex. Open work permits. These include post-graduation work permits, PGWP, spousal open work permits, etc. If you have an open work permit, you can work for any employer in Canada, or even be self-employed. That means, yes, you can start a business on an open permit because you're not restricted to one employer. For instance, a spouse of a skilled worker often has an open permit. They could start freelancing or open an online store, no problem. Similarly, international graduates on PGWPs often launch startups. The open permit lets them legally work in their own company. Immigration laws view self-employment as a valid form of work in this case. One caveat: being self-employed might complicate things if you later seek certain immigration streams, like Express Entry Canadian Experience Class, which doesn't count self-employed work towards the experience requirement if you're self-employed without PR. But from a pure, is it allowed now? Perspective, yes, open permit equals allowed to run a business. There's also the scenario of someone on a study permit, which we discussed in Chapter 5, that's not exactly a visitor or work visa, but sort of in between. On a study permit, you're allowed limited work hours, 20 per week during school, so you could use those hours for your own business. But beyond that, similar logic. More than those hours would break rules. If you're serious about starting a business and you're currently on a visitor visa, look into transitioning to a visa that allows it. Options might include Startup Visa Program. If you have a viable startup idea and can get investor incubator support, that leads to PR directly. Provincial Entrepreneur Nominee Programs. Some provinces let you come on a work permit to start a business, which can lead to PR. Work permits via owner-operator LMIA used to be a thing where an owner could sponsor themselves as an employee of their new company. It's become stricter, but still possible in some fashion. Spousal sponsorship or other PR. If you qualify by other means, having PR solves the issue entirely because PR can do any work. In short, to run a business hands-on, you really want to have either PR or at least a work permit that isn't restrictive. A special mention: if you're a business visitor, as defined by IRCC, you can do things like come to explore business opportunities, meet prospective partners, attend trade shows, or even sign contracts, all without a work permit, because you're not actively entering the labor market. You might technically even incorporate a business during such a trip, like setting groundwork, but you can't operate it until you have proper status. Business visitors often use their trips to set up future ventures legally, like open a corporate bank account, talk to lawyers, which is fine. The key distinction: as a business visitor, your main business and source of income must remain outside Canada. The moment you shift to earning money within Canada through work, you need a work permit. So visitor visa, starting a business is a no-go for active operations. Work visa, if open, yes. If closed, not without violating terms. Always check the specific conditions on your work permit. On the permit document, it says what you can't do. When in doubt, consult an immigration professional. Let's illustrate. Maria is in Toronto on a visitor visa, loves Canadian crafts, and wants to start an online Etsy shop selling them worldwide. While she could theoretically set up the Etsy store and even incorporate a business, as soon as she starts fulfilling orders from within Canada and making money, she's performing work without authorization, not allowed. She should either partner with someone who is a resident, who can handle the operations until Maria gets status, or apply for a different visa. Now John is in Vancouver on a postgraduate work permit after graduating. He has an open permit valid for 3 years. He absolutely can start his own web design freelancing business. He doesn't need to ask anyone's permission. He'll just need to register his business like any Canadian would, and he's good to go. If John were on a closed permit working for, say, Amazon in Vancouver, and he wants to run a side bakery on weekends, technically that's not allowed without further permit, because his permit says he works for Amazon only. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur on a temporary visa, plan your steps. You might build your business plan and even incorporate in advance, but ensure you transition to a status that lets you work when it's time to launch. Fortunately, Canada encourages entrepreneurship through those streams we mentioned, so you have options. Just don't jump the gun and accidentally contravene immigration laws. That can jeopardize your future in Canada. Now let's talk nuts and bolts again for those about to launch. Once you have your business going, what about compliance? What taxes, permits, and legal steps do you need to take care of for a small business in Canada? In Chapter 11, we'll give a handy overview of the tax obligations, federal, provincial, sales tax, etc., the common permits, and legal to-dos for small businesses. It's not the most glamorous part of entrepreneurship, but absolutely essential, and we'll make it clear and straightforward. Time to talk about everyone's favorite topics, taxes and permits. Kidding aside, understanding the taxes, permits, and legal steps required for small businesses in Canada is crucial to keeping your enterprise on the right side of the law. We've touched on registration earlier. Now let's dive deeper into ongoing compliance and initial legal requirements. Taxes. Canada's tax system has several layers for businesses. Income tax. If you run your business as a sole proprietorship or partnership, your business income is taxed as part of your personal income. You'll report it on your T1 personal tax return, with forms like a T2125 statement of business activities. You pay taxes at your personal marginal rate on the profit. If you incorporate, form a corporation. The corporation is a separate taxpayer. It must file a T2 corporate tax return annually and pay corporate income tax on its profits. The good news for small businesses is Canada offers a small business deduction, which lowers the corporate tax rate on the first $500,000 of active business income. Federally, that small biz rate is 9% versus the general 15% federal rate. Provinces then add their own tax, but also at reduced rates for small businesses, e.g., Ontario's provincial rate, approximately 3.2% for small biz, bringing combined to approximately 12.2%, as we saw. This means if you incorporate and qualify as a Canadian-controlled private corporation, CCPC, you'll likely pay around 11 to 15% tax on your first $500,000 profit, varies by province, which is quite favorable. Many small businesses end up paying less tax incorporated than if the same income were on the owner's personal return in a higher bracket. Of course, if you leave profits in the company, they get that low rate. If you pay them out to yourself as dividends, you then pay personal tax on the dividends, but with a credit mechanism. Important, you must file taxes yearly whether profitable or not. If no tax is owed, file a nil return, particularly for corporations. Skipping can lead to penalties. Keep good records of income and expenses. The CRA can audit if something looks off. The CRA's liaison officer service we mentioned can guide new business owners on what they can deduct and how to keep books. Common deductions include business use of home, vehicle expenses if used for work, equipment, etc. But keep receipts. CRA expects documentation. GST, HST, sales tax. Canada has a federal goods and services tax, GST, of 5%, and some provinces harmonize with it, HST, at higher rates, e.g. 13% in Ontario, 15% in Atlantic provinces. Some provinces have separate PST. As a small business, if you make more than $30,000 in a year in revenue, or in a single calendar quarter, you are required to register for a GST/HST account and start charging this tax to your customers. Below $30,000, you're considered a small supplier and can choose not to register, which means you don't charge GST/HST, but also can't claim it back on your expenses. Many businesses register as soon as they approach that threshold. In fact, some register even early if they have lots of input costs, so they can claim input tax credits. Example, you start a consulting biz, hit $35,000 in sales. Time to get a GST number and add 5% or HST on your invoices. Then remit that to CRA, usually quarterly or annually, depending on your volume. Also, if you operate in provinces with PST, like BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and you sell taxable goods or certain services there, you may need to register for a provincial sales tax account too. Quebec has its own QST, though harmonized administration somewhat. For many service businesses, GST/HST is the main thing. Services are generally taxable unless exempt, like health or financial services. Keep in mind, you collect sales tax from customers. It's not your money. You hold it and remit to government, minus any credits for GST you paid on business inputs. Payroll taxes. If you have employees, even if you're an employee of your own corporation drawing salary, you need to set up a payroll account with CRA. You'll be responsible for withholding income tax, Canada Pension Plan, CPP contributions, and employment insurance, EI, premiums from employees' paychecks, and remitting them to CRA. Plus, the employer, you, must pay the employer's share of CPP and EI. This requires diligent calculation. Most use payroll software or an accountant for this. There are deadlines for remittances, usually monthly or quarterly, depending on your payroll size. It's crucial not to miss these, as payroll withholdings are considered trust funds. CRA is strict about their remittance. Other taxes. Depending on business, there could be other taxes. E.g., if you import goods, you might pay import duties or need to handle customs, GST on import. If you own property in the business, property taxes to city. But the big ones for small business are income tax and sales tax. Permits and licenses. We covered initially that, depending on your business activity, you may need permits at municipal, provincial, or federal levels. Municipal business license. Most cities require businesses operating within them to have a basic business license. The requirements and cost vary. For example, in Toronto, a general business doesn't need a license, but certain activities, like running a restaurant, a taxi, a trades contractor, do. In Vancouver, most businesses need a license. Check your city's website. Often it's a small fee yearly and maybe an inspection if you have premises open to public, like fire safety. If you run a home-based business, some municipalities require a home occupation permit to ensure you're not causing neighborhood disruptions. Provincial licenses. Certain professions and trades are regulated provincially. For instance, if you start an electrical contracting business, you or someone on your team needs to be a licensed electrician. Same with things like daycare, provincial licensing for childcare, real estate agent, insurance broker, etc. Always check if your industry has a governing body or provincial regulator. Additionally, many provinces have environmental regulations. E.g., if your business deals with hazardous materials, you need permits for that. Federal licenses permits, mostly for businesses in sectors under federal jurisdiction, like broadcasting, needs CRTC license for a radio station, interprovincial trucking, aviation, if you start an airline for instance, or if you're importing, exporting certain controlled goods, food, firearms, pharmaceuticals, etc. Also, if you incorporate federally, that's a federal matter, but it's not a permit, just registration. Health and safety permits. If you serve food, you need health department permits and food handling certifications. If you manufacture or sell alcohol, you need liquor licenses, provincial distribution ones, and possibly federal excise if you produce. Construction business? You might need building permits for each project and to ensure workers' compensation coverage for employees. That's another requirement. Signing up with your provincial workers' compensation board if you have employees or are in construction, even as owner-operator in some provinces. Special industry permits. For example, a salon might need a cosmetology association license. A security firm needs a security agency license. These vary widely, but BizPal, as mentioned, can list them. Legal steps and ongoing compliance. Registration, incorporation. We did this in Chapter 3. To recap, choose structure, register, or incorporate accordingly. If you incorporate federally and do business in a province, which you likely will, register as an extra-provincial corporation in that province. A simple filing. Keep your corporate records up to date. Issue shares, record directors, etc., usually with a lawyer's help setting up minute book. Annual filings. Corporations must file annual returns, not tax return, but a corporate info return, with the jurisdiction of incorporation to confirm directors, address, etc. For example, a federal corporation files an annual return with Corporations Canada, small fee. Provinces have similar requirements. Missing these can cause dissolution of the company after a time, so mark that on calendar. Renewing licenses. Many licenses, like your municipal business license, certain permits, must be renewed yearly or periodically. Keep track, or you might be operating illegally if one lapses. Bookkeeping and financial statements. Legally, you're required to maintain proper books of account. If incorporated, the law requires you keep accounting records, and shareholders get financial statements annually. Sole props not so formal, but for taxes, you still need records. Employment laws. If you hire staff, be aware of employment standards. Minimum wage, overtime, vacation, etc., which are provincial laws, and make sure to comply. Also, occupational health and safety regulations require providing a safe workplace and registering with Workers' Comp Board as noted. Privacy laws. If you're collecting personal info of customers, like emails, etc., you need to comply with privacy laws, federal PPADA or provincial ones. Usually, having a clear privacy policy and reasonable safeguards is the gist for small biz. Insurance. Not legally mandated in all cases, but strongly recommended. Some industries require certain insurance, e.g., liability insurance for a construction contractor might be mandated to get a license. Even if not required, getting general liability insurance is wise to protect against lawsuits. And if you have employees, consider health benefits or at least know about workers' comp, which covers workplace injury. It sounds like a lot, but once you break it down, register business and get BN. Obtain licenses relevant to your industry location. Use BizPal. Register for tax accounts, GST/HST if needed, payroll if hiring, import, export if doing that. Follow through annually. File tax returns, renew licenses, keep records. Canadian governments often have guides, for example, the Canada Business site and provincial small biz portals, listing the permits and taxes for common business types. Use those checklists. And when in doubt, an accountant and a lawyer are two pros that are worth consulting early on. An hour with them can save you from costly mistakes. To keep your small business running smoothly, meet your tax obligations. The CRA is generally helpful if you're proactive. If you can't pay on time, talk to them. They often arrange payment plans. Renew your permits and respect the laws in your sector, be it food safety, building codes, or professional standards. Being compliant not only avoids fines, but also builds trust with customers. Nobody wants to eat at an unlicensed restaurant or hire an unlicensed contractor. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Handle the paperwork and legwork up front so you can focus on growing your business without legal troubles looming. After navigating these practicalities, let's zoom out to the big picture of Canada's economy. In Chapter 12, we examine which industries dominate the Canadian economy. Knowing the economic landscape can help you understand where your business fits in or where opportunities lie. Is Canada all about natural resources? Hint, not entirely. we'll break down the major industries fueling GDP and jobs and what that means for entrepreneurs. Onward to Chapter 12 for an economic overview. From the oil fields of Alberta to the financial towers of Toronto, what drives Canada's economy? In this chapter, we look at which industries dominate the Canadian economy, the heavy hitters in terms of GDP, employment, and influence. Understanding this helps frame the context in which businesses operate. First, service sector, the big chunk, approximately 70% plus of GDP. Like most developed countries, Canada's economy is primarily service-based. In fact, services account for about 74% of Canada's GDP, while goods-producing industries make up around 26%. So, the service sector as a whole dominates. Within services, the largest single component is real estate and rental and leasing, which might surprise you. It's about 13% of GDP, the biggest of any industry. This includes not just real estate agents and landlords, but also the imputed rent of owner-occupied homes, a quirk in GDP calculation. Basically, the housing market, from home sales to rental income, is a huge part of the economy. Other major service industries, finance and insurance. Toronto is the center here, home to big banks. Finance, insurance, and real estate combined are enormous. For instance, one Reddit stat said approximately 20% of GDP is FIRE. Finance are insurance, real estate, which aligns with real estate 13% plus finance's share. Wholesale and retail trade together form a large share, all the stores and trade channels. Healthcare and social assistance, given our public healthcare, is a significant employer and contributor. Public administration, government services, and education also occupy big portions. The public sector in total is around 21% of GDP. And we can't forget professional and technical services, legal, accounting, scientific, IT consulting, a rapidly growing part, especially with tech. Actually, manufacturing, goods, is second largest single industry at approximately 9.6%, but in services, multiple ones exceed that if combined. Finance plus insurance might be around 7 to 8%, healthcare around similar, etc. Takeaway: the service sector is king, with real estate and financial services at the forefront. 2. Natural resources: energy, mining, forestry. Canada is rich in resources, and these industries punch above their weight in exports and certain provinces' economies. Oil and gas, part of mining, quarrying, and oil and gas extraction, is a cornerstone, notably in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and offshore Atlantic. It's not as large in GDP share as it once was due to price fluctuations, currently about 5 to 8% of GDP, 5.3% in chained volume terms in 2024, but higher in nominal when oil prices are up. But it dominates exports and investment. Energy products are Canada's #1 export category, about $183 billion, approximately 20% plus of export value. So while on a national GDP level it's smaller than, say, real estate, it's hugely influential. When oil prices boom, Alberta's economy surges and lifts national figures. Mining, excluding oil gas, Canada is a top global producer of potash, uranium, gold, nickel, etc. Mining and metals matter especially in northern Ontario, Quebec, BC, and the north. Combined with oil, gas in GDP stats as above approximately 5%. Forestry and logging, along with related pulp and paper, used to be bigger historically, but still significant in BC, Quebec, New Brunswick. Agriculture too falls in goods. Agriculture, farming, is only approximately 1.6% of GDP, but is key in prairie provinces. 3. Manufacturing. As noted, manufacturing remains the second largest sector at approximately 9.6% of GDP. It includes everything from autos to food processing to aerospace. Auto manufacturing, centered in Ontario and a bit in Quebec, is a big chunk, making cars and parts for North American market. Aerospace is huge in Quebec, Bombardier, etc. Pharmaceuticals and chemicals also significant. Food manufacturing, turning prairie wheat into pasta, Ontario tomatoes into ketchup, etc. Manufacturing has declined as a share over decades as services grew, but it's still a pillar employing millions. Notably, manufacturing includes refining of oil into gasoline, which is counted in manufacturing, so some resource downstream activities fall here. During COVID, we saw how manufacturing supply chains are crucial. So while less flashy, manufacturing is a workhorse sector. Certain cities, Windsor, Oshawa, London in Ontario, Montreal, Winnipeg, etc., have big manufacturing bases. 4. Finance and tech. Financial services, banking, insurance, wealth management, largely headquartered in Toronto, also Montreal, Vancouver hubs, is around 7 to 8% of GDP. If real estate is 13%, finance, art, and insurance might be around half that, plus some overlapping categories. The Big Five banks are among Canada's largest companies. This sector also directly employs many high-income folks and funds a lot of business growth through loans, VC, etc. Related is tech sector. While not an official single GDP category, tech is embedded across various industries, some in professional services, some in info-cultural industries, some in manufacturing. If tech manufacturing, tech has been a rising star. For instance, information and cultural industries, which includes telecom, media, and IT, plus professional, scientific, and technical services, which includes many tech firms, together contribute quite a bit. Our startup scene, like companies such as Shopify mentioned earlier, indicates tech's growing weight, a sign of tech's rise. Canada now has about 21 unicorn startups as of 2025, and cities like Toronto and Vancouver rank high in tech talent. While perhaps not as big as finance yet, tech is arguably the fastest growing segment of the economy in recent years. 5. Others. Construction is sizable. All the building of homes, infrastructure, often approximately 7% of GDP, and employing many, though often considered part of goods. Utilities, electricity, gas distribution, is a smaller chunk but vital. Agriculture, as noted, approximately 1.6% of GDP, but culturally and for exports, wheat, canola, it's key. Tourism isn't one sector in stats. It spans accommodation, food services, etc. But that mix is important, especially for certain regions, British Columbia, Prince Edward Island, etc. Arts, entertainment, and recreation and education are smaller slices, but meaningful socially. To give a snapshot with numbers, according to a recent breakdown, real estate and rental leasing, approximately 13.2%. Manufacturing, approximately 9.6%. Finance and insurance, approximately 7%. Plus, if you add rental leasing to real estate, you get higher. Mining, oil, gas, approximately 5.3% in real terms now, likely approximately 8% nominal at times. Construction, likely approximately 7%. Healthcare and social assist, approximately 5 to 7%. Public admin, approximately 6 to 7%. Wholesale trade, approximately 5%. Retail trade, approximately 5%. Professional technical services, approximately 5%. Educational services, approximately 5%. Transportation and warehousing, approximately 4%. Info and cultural, including telecom, media, approximately 4%. Agriculture, forestry, etc. approximately 2% combined maybe. These are ballpark but give the idea of spread. What does this domination mean for businesses? Well, if you're in or serving these big industries, there's lots of opportunity. For example, if you sell to real estate construction, you're touching a huge part of the economy. Or if you develop tech for the finance sector, fintech, you're connecting with a dominant industry. Also, dominance can vary by province. In Alberta, oil and gas is the dominant industry by far, over a quarter of Alberta's GDP some years. In Ontario, finance, manufacturing, and tech lead, diverse economy. In Quebec, manufacturing, especially aerospace, and services like finance and media are big. In BC, real estate and construction have been huge, lots of development, plus tech and tourism. In Atlantic Canada, public sector, fishing, and some manufacturing shipbuilding play big roles. Understanding the dominant industries also helps anticipate economic trends, e.g., When oil prices drop, Canada's overall growth slows, as happened in 2015. When housing booms, the economy feels it. As in recent years, construction and real estate surging contributed a lot. It also shows where government focus often lies, e.g., policies around natural resources, like pipelines, carbon tax, are heated because energy is such a pillar, or why trade deals stress financial services and intellectual property to protect those big sectors. In summary, Canada's economy is broad, but services rule the day, especially real estate, finance, and other services, while manufacturing and natural resources, though smaller than decades ago, remain crucial and regionally dominant. For entrepreneurs, this means a stable, developed market with strong sectors to plug into. There's also ongoing effort to diversify, for instance, to grow the tech and green industries, so we aren't over-reliant on, say, oil or housing. If you operate in or support these major industries, you're in the flow of Canada's economic currents. And even if you're in a niche, it's likely influenced by these big sectors indirectly. If real estate dips, consumer spending might dip, etc. Knowing the heavyweights helps you strategize, whether it's selling services to big banks or innovating in clean tech, because you know oil and gas is huge but transitioning. Canada's economy has these anchor industries that provide stability and wealth, and around them, countless small businesses, like yours perhaps, orbit and find opportunity. From the established giants to the up-and-comers, next we'll highlight some Canadian companies that started small and hit it big. Chapter 13 is all about startup success stories in Canada. Hearing how companies like Shopify or others rose from humble beginnings can offer lessons and inspiration. Who knows, the next success story could be your business. Join us in Chapter 13 for a tour of Canada's startup triumphs. From the oil, every big company starts as a small business. Canada has its share of homegrown success stories, startups that grew into national or even global powerhouses. Which Canadian companies are notable startup success stories? Let's dive into a few inspiring examples. 1. Shopify, from snowboards to e-commerce empire. Perhaps the poster child of Canadian startup success is Shopify. Founded in 2006 in Ottawa by Tobias Lütke, an immigrant from Germany, and partners, it began as a small online snowboard shop. Unsatisfied with existing e-commerce software, they built their own platform and soon realized that was the more valuable product. Fast forward, Shopify is now one of the world's leading e-commerce platforms, enabling over 1 million merchants to sell online. It went public in 2015, and as of mid-2020s, has a market cap in the tens of billions. It's often cited that Shopify has become Canada's most valuable or second most valuable company at times. The journey, from a small team coding in a coffee shop to a giant employing thousands, is a blueprint for Canadian startup success. It showed that a global tech leader can indeed be built from Canada. No need to relocate to Silicon Valley. Shopify's success has inspired a generation of Canadian tech entrepreneurs and put Ottawa on the tech map. 2. Hootsuite, taming social media. Over on the West Coast, Hootsuite is another startup-turned-star. Launched in 2008 in Vancouver by Ryan Holmes, it started as a tool to manage multiple social media accounts from one interface, basically pioneering social media management. Hootsuite grew rapidly as businesses embraced social media but needed help organizing it. By 2010, it had 1 million users and it kept expanding. While still privately held, so valuations are estimates, Hootsuite became a unicorn, worth greater than $1 billion, and one of Vancouver's anchor tech companies. From a scrappy team above a pizza shop to a global firm serving 18+ million users, Hootsuite's story highlights how identifying a pain point handling Twitter, Facebook, etc. all at once can lead to massive opportunity. It also anchored Vancouver's social tech scene. Third Element AI and AI ecosystem. Quick rise, big exit. Montreal has a hot AI sector, and Element AI was a startup co-founded in 2016 by AI luminary Yoshua Bengio and others to bring AI solutions to enterprises. It attracted one of the largest Series A funding rounds in Canadian history, $102 million, and grew quickly, tapping Montreal's deep AI talent. In 2020, Element AI was acquired by ServiceNow for around $230 million US. Not a unicorn exit, but significant. More importantly, it showed that advanced AI research could be commercialized from Canada and spurred many spin-offs and talent. It's a success in putting Canada's AI startups on the map. Others include Covio in Quebec City, AI-powered search platform, which IPO'd in 2021, and Verifin in Newfoundland, anti-fraud software acquired for a whopping $2.75 billion US. Yes, a St. John's, Newfoundland startup, Verifin, sold to NASDAQ. Huge deal, showing innovation thrives even outside major hubs. 4. BlackBerry, trailblazer. Turned cautionary tale. No list is complete without BlackBerry, formerly Research in Motion. Founded in 1984 in Waterloo, Ontario, by Mike Lazaridis, an immigrant from Turkey, and Doug Fregan, it started with pagers and in 1999 launched the BlackBerry smartphone, pioneering mobile email. For a while, BlackBerry was the smartphone market, a massive global success story and Canada's most famous tech company. At its peak in around 2008, it had over 50% of US smartphone market and was valued over $70 billion. Though BlackBerry's fortunes waned in the face of iPhone, Android, it's since pivoted to software and security. Its rise from a small university town company to a world leader was remarkable. It cemented Waterloo as a tech hub, and its legacy laid groundwork for dozens of spin-offs and a vibrant startup scene there and across Canada, proving we could create global tech. It's both an inspiration and a lesson in the need to continually innovate. 5. Lightspeed and others, Montreal's quiet giant. Montreal's Lightspeed is a startup success in retail point-of-sale systems. Founded 2005, IPO'd in 2019, now a multi-billion-dollar company with customers worldwide, competing with the likes of Square. It's a great example of a Canadian company quietly achieving global scale in a B2B niche. Similarly, OpenText, enterprise software from Waterloo, grew from a University of Waterloo project to a global leader in content management, now Canada's largest software company by revenue. Constellation Software in Toronto went from startup in 1995 to a massive conglomerate of software businesses, a stock market darling. These show that not all success is consumer-facing. Enterprise software and B2B can produce huge companies here. 6. Others worth mentioning, Bombardier. Started as a snowmobile company in Quebec in 1942, Joseph Armand Bombardier invented the snowmobile, grew into a transportation giant, jets and trains. Though ups and downs, commercial jet division was sold, it's a storied Canadian company from humble roots in rural Quebec. Saputo, a dairy company started by an immigrant family in Montreal in 1950, now one of the top cheesemakers globally. Lululemon, Vancouver, founded in 1998 by Chip Wilson as a single yoga wear store, grew into a worldwide athletic apparel brand and public company with billions in revenue. It tapped into the athleisure trend early and is a retail success. WestJet, Calgary-based airline, started in 1996 as a scrappy low-cost carrier with 3 planes serving Western Canada, grew to become Canada's second-largest airline, challenging Air Canada and expanding internationally, before being bought by Onyx in 2019. A service industry success showing competition can flourish. MindBeacon/Dialogue, Canadian health tech startups, virtual therapy, telehealth, that scaled up and in some cases went public amid demand for digital health. Skip the Dishes, food delivery app started in Saskatchewan in 2012, became a major Canadian tech startup and sold to UK's Just Eat for $200 million in 2016, helping put prairie startups on the map. Shopify's Unicorn Stable. Shopify's success minted many spin-off entrepreneurs and mafia-like alumni founding companies. Example, Clearbank, now Clearco, by Michelle Romanow. Though she wasn't Shopify, she's a Dragon's Den star. Clearco became a unicorn offering revenue-based financing to startups. Also, Wealth Simple, Toronto fintech for online investing, valued around $5 billion in 2021 after raising big rounds. Power Corp backed it. These stories illustrate a few key things. Immigrants have founded many of Canada's big companies. Magna International by Frank Stronach from Austria, Saputo by the Saputo family from Italy, Shopify by Lutka from Germany, etc., underlining how immigration fuels entrepreneurship. Regional diversity. Big startups have come from all over: Ottawa, Shopify; Waterloo, BlackBerry, OpenText; Vancouver, Hootsuite, Lululemon; Montreal, Lightspeed, Element AI; Prairies, Skip the Dishes; Atlantic, Verafin. Innovation isn't just Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, though those cities have concentration. Sectors. We have successes in tech, software, AI, in consumer products, apparel, food, transportation, and historically in manufacturing. So, entrepreneurs can thrive in various sectors, not just one. Public markets and big exits. Several Canadian startups have IPO'd on the Toronto Stock Exchange or NYSE, Shopify, Lightspeed, etc., showing our capital markets support them. Others got acquired by global players, which, while sometimes lamented, we like companies to stay Canadian, also returns capital to the ecosystem to seed the next generation. Each success story also had tough times. BlackBerry lost its crown, Bombardier stumbled, but the resilience and innovation shown by these companies paved the way for others. For a budding entrepreneur, these stories say, yes, it can be done in Canada. You can start small, a single store, a tiny office, a dorm room coding project, and if you solve the right problem and execute well, you can scale to a global powerhouse. And importantly, success breeds success. Ex-employees of these firms often start new ventures, the PayPal Mafia effect, but here we have Shopify Mafia, BlackBerry alumni, etc. The founders themselves often become angel investors or mentors, so the landscape today is richer because of yesterday's successes. Narrator, closing this chapter on a high. Canada's startup success stories, from Shopify's meteoric rise to Lululemon's global brand, prove that world-beating companies can grow on Canadian soil. They inspire the next wave of entrepreneurs, maybe including you, to think big. Who knows, the small business you start today could be the next legendary success we talk about tomorrow. We've seen success, but doing business isn't all sunshine, especially in a world of rapid change. In Chapter 14, we'll frankly discuss the challenges and risks businesses face in Canada today. From economic shifts to competition and beyond, knowing the hurdles helps you prepare. Every journey has bumps. Let's identify them so you can navigate better. Onward to Chapter 14. No business journey is without obstacles. While Canada is a great place to do business, companies here, like everywhere, face their share of challenges and risks. Let's unpack some of the key challenges businesses face in Canada today. 1. Economic fluctuations, inflation, and costs. As of the mid-2020s, one front and center issue is rising inflation and input costs. After years of low inflation, recent supply chain disruptions and global factors have driven up costs for materials, fuel, and inventory. In a 2024 survey, over half of businesses, 50.2%, cited rising inflation as a top obstacle expected in the coming months. This means businesses are paying more for everything from raw materials to shipping. Higher input costs squeeze profit margins, and many small businesses struggle with whether to raise prices, risking customer loss, or eat the costs, hitting their bottom line. Inflation also ties into wage pressures. Employees need raises to keep up with cost of living, which drives up labor costs for businesses. Additionally, interest rates have risen as the Bank of Canada combats inflation, so the cost of borrowing is higher. A business loan or line of credit isn't as cheap as it was a few years ago. Servicing debt is tougher, and that dampens expansion plans. Relatedly, supply chain issues persist in some sectors, getting inventory on time, etc., partly a holdover from pandemic disruptions. So, businesses face unpredictability in getting supplies, and often at higher prices than before. 2. Labor shortages and skills gaps. Canada's unemployment is relatively low, and many businesses can't find enough workers with the right skills. A labor shortage is acute, especially in skilled trades, tech, healthcare, and hospitality. For example, 70% of employers report difficulty finding skilled trades workers in some surveys. Another study found labor shortages cost the manufacturing sector billions in lost opportunities. For small businesses, this means job openings stay unfilled longer, existing staff are overworked, or they have to pay more to attract talent. Retaining employees is also tough as larger companies can often pay more, so small firms risk high turnover. The demographics exacerbate this. As baby boomers retire, fewer young people are there to replace in certain fields, hence the trades gap. Immigration is one remedy. Canada is increasing immigration to help labor supply, but newcomers need time to integrate or may settle in certain regions. In the high-tech sector, companies compete globally for software developers, data scientists, etc. This drives up salary costs and can be challenging for startups who can't match big corporate offers. A direct stat: in 2024, over one-third of businesses, 34.4%, expected difficulty hiring skilled staff as a hurdle, and a CFIB, Canadian Federation of Independent Business, report noted labor shortages have cost small businesses tens of billions in lost sales due to reduced capacity. Third, tax and regulatory burden. While Canada is generally business-friendly, there are complaints about high taxes and complex regulations. Small businesses worry about the cumulative load of taxes, corporate tax, payroll taxes like CPP-EI contributions, property taxes, etc. Canada's small business tax rate is low on the first $500,000, but above that, the general rate around 26% combined federal-provincial is higher than, say, the US's new 21% federal, though provinces vary. Also, things like sales tax compliance, charging GST, HST, PST properly across provinces, can be a headache. A CFIB survey often finds total tax burden is a top concern for business owners. Regulatory compliance, whether it's municipal permits, provincial labor laws, or federal rules, can be time-consuming. Canada has been improving this, cutting red tape initiatives. Yet businesses still report spending many hours and dollars on compliance. For example, trucking companies face differing provincial rules, food businesses navigate stringent safety regs, etc. These are important for public good, but small outfits without compliance departments feel the strain. Red tape is often cited as a challenge by over 50% of small biz in CFIB reports. Fourth, market size and competition. Canada's population, 38 million, is not huge, and it's spread out. For many businesses, especially consumer products, the domestic market is limited. To really scale, they often have to tackle the US or global markets, which brings bigger competition. But even within Canada, businesses face competition from US or international entrants. Think of retailers like Walmart, Amazon dominating e-commerce. Canadian businesses often compete with American firms that have larger scale and can undercut prices or outspend on marketing. That's a risk, e.g., local retailers and restaurants struggled competing with multinational chains or e-commerce giants, which was painfully clear during COVID lockdowns, where Amazon thrived but many small shops faltered. Geography adds challenge. Serving the whole country means long distances and different regional tastes. A business strong in one province might find it hard to expand to another because of distribution or brand awareness limitations. 5. Technological disruption and cybersecurity. The fast pace of tech is a double-edged sword. Businesses must adapt. Digital transformation, online selling, automation, or risk falling behind. For some, keeping up with tech requires investment and learning they find challenging, especially older small businesses. Additionally, cyber threats are a rising risk. Many small businesses have been targets of phishing, ransomware, data breaches. About 18% of Canadian businesses experienced a cybersecurity incident in recent years. If a small firm's data or operations get hijacked, it can be devastating, and they often lack the IT defenses of big companies. Cybersecurity was flagged by retailers as a concern, especially with shifting to online operations. 6. Economic uncertainty and external shocks. The pandemic taught us how suddenly things can change. Even now, businesses remain wary of potential future shocks, whether another health crisis, global supply chain upheaval, or recession. Economic uncertainty is often named as a challenge. For instance, if interest rates keep rising to tame inflation, that could slow consumer spending, a risk for many sectors. Trade issues are a factor too. Being an open economy, Canada's businesses can be hit by tariffs or slowdowns in the US or China. A current example, US protectionism, like Buy American policies, can shut out Canadian suppliers from a big market, causing risk. 7. Climate change and environmental regulations. Climate change poses both physical risks and transitional challenges. Physically, businesses face more extreme weather, e.g., wildfires and smoke in Western Canada can disrupt tourism and outdoor work. Floods can damage premises. 1 in 5 small businesses say they've been affected by extreme weather events. On the regulatory side, Canada's climate policies, like carbon pricing, mean businesses must adapt to greener ways. Carbon tax means higher fuel costs, especially for industries like trucking or manufacturing. While many support sustainability, the transition can be costly and complex, particularly for energy-intensive businesses. 8. Access to capital. For startups and small enterprises, obtaining financing is often a challenge. Canadian venture capital has improved, but still lags Silicon Valley in sheer amount. Banks are cautious lenders and often require personal guarantees/collateral. Some businesses can't easily access loans for growth. Programs exist, BDC, etc., but entrepreneurs frequently cite financing as a hurdle. This risk is higher when interest rates are up and lenders tighten due to economic conditions. 9. Changing consumer behavior. Rapid shifts, partly tech-driven, mean businesses must constantly adapt to how customers want to buy. The rise of e-commerce, the expectation of fast delivery, the trend of remote work, fewer people in downtown shops, for example, all require pivots. Businesses that can't or won't adapt to online marketing or sales risk decline. For example, retail shops that didn't build an online presence struggled more. Also, consumers are more values-driven now, expecting social responsibility. Companies face pressure to demonstrate diversity, equity, and eco-friendliness. Failing to do so can risk brand damage. 10th, COVID-19. Aftershocks. While the acute phase is over, many businesses are still recovering. Debt is one. A CFIB study found 65% of businesses in 2024 still carried pandemic-related debt, averaging $108,000. Servicing that debt while dealing with the above challenges, inflation, etc., is tough. Also, some sectors like travel, events, downtown restaurants haven't fully regained their customer base due to lingering behavioral changes, e.g., remote work reduces foot traffic. So, a risk is that some businesses never fully bounce back, or future waves of variants cause minor disruptions. Now, these challenges are real, but Canadian businesses are resilient. They adapt and innovate. For instance, when labor is short, companies invest in automation or recruit immigrants. When costs rise, they find efficiencies or alternative suppliers. And it helps that governments often respond, e.g., during COVID, lots of support programs rolled out. For labor shortages, immigration targets increased. For high energy costs, some rebates for small biz. Networking with peers through chambers of commerce or industry associations also helps share coping strategies. In summary, businesses in Canada today face a mix of economic, operational, and competitive challenges. Rising costs, inflation, wages, taxes, difficulty finding workers, navigating regulations, technological change, and unpredictability in the broader environment. Identifying these risks is the first step to mitigating them. Whether it's budgeting for higher costs, upping your digital game to beat competition, or securing insurance for the unforeseen. Canadian entrepreneurs have weathered many storms, recessions, booms, a pandemic, and continue to push forward. With planning and adaptability, these challenges, while significant, can be managed. And on the other side lies the reward of business success. We've looked at the present challenges. Finally, let's gaze into the future. In Chapter 15, we'll discuss the future of entrepreneurship and innovation in Canada. What trends will shape the next decade? How will Canada foster the entrepreneurs of tomorrow? If you're wondering where things are headed, from tech frontiers to cultural shifts, stay tuned for a forward-looking finale in Chapter 15. Cue the crystal ball. While no one can predict the future with certainty, we can spot trends and signals. What does the future of entrepreneurship and innovation in Canada look like? Let's explore some key themes shaping the next decade and beyond. 1. A rising tide of diverse entrepreneurs. The face of Canadian entrepreneurship is becoming more diverse, and that's set to continue. Women, newcomers, and underrepresented groups are launching businesses at growing rates, often with targeted support. For instance, the government rolled out a $265 million Black Entrepreneurship program to empower Black Canadian business owners. And there are programs for Indigenous entrepreneurs, women-led startups, etc. By 2030, expect a more inclusive entrepreneurship landscape, which means more innovation born from different perspectives. This diversity is a strength. Studies show diverse teams are more creative. So, the future will see solutions addressing needs of various communities, driven by those communities. Picture more successful companies founded by women and BIPOC entrepreneurs, given the momentum now. 2. Deep tech and AI leadership. Canada is positioning itself as a global leader in certain cutting-edge fields, particularly artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and biotech. We already have a strong AI research base, with legends like Yoshua Bengio, Geoffrey Hinton, and that's translating into startups. The federal government's pan-Canadian AI strategy and superclusters are boosting this. Looking ahead, AI will be ubiquitous, integrated into businesses of all sorts, and Canadian startups are likely to produce world-class AI applications. According to a Microsoft report, AI could add $187 billion to Canada's economy by 2030, which is huge. We'll see AI used to tackle healthcare diagnostics, climate modeling, and more. And likely some Canadian AI unicorns emerging. We already have some like Cohere, Dapper Labs, Blockchain AI, etc. Quantum computing is another area where Canada, with companies like D-Wave, Xanadu, is at the forefront. If quantum breaks through, Canadian innovators could be key players. Expect increased commercialization of university research. We have strong schools, and more spin-out companies will form in fields like advanced materials, clean energy tech, and life sciences. 3. Green innovation and clean industries. Climate change is both a challenge and an impetus for innovation. By 2030, Canada aims to drastically cut emissions, which necessitates clean technology breakthroughs. We're seeing many startups in renewable energy, electric vehicles, smart grids, carbon capture, etc. The Global Innovation Clusters program invests $2 billion into sectors like digital tech, protein industries, i.e., sustainable agriculture, advanced manufacturing, AI, and ocean tech. These will yield new companies and jobs. For example, the Protein Industries Cluster pushes plant-based protein innovation. Think beyond meat alternatives. Canada could become a leader in agri-tech, feeding the world sustainably, and in resource tech, making mining and oil cleaner until we transition fully. Alberta's pivot to clean energy startups and BC's focus on hydrogen fuel and battery tech are signs. The future likely holds Canadian companies exporting green solutions globally, like carbon-neutral fuels, waste-to-energy tech, etc. Also, more mainstream businesses will innovate to be sustainable, packaging, processes, because consumers and regulations will demand it. 4. Digital economy and new work models. The pandemic accelerated digital adoption by years. By the future, e-commerce, remote work, and digital services will be standard practice. This means entrepreneurs can build teams and companies from anywhere in Canada, not just the big cities. We're already seeing a mini tech boom in smaller towns as remote work untethers people. Platforms enabling remote collaboration, freelance marketplaces, and gig economy tools will further evolve, possibly with a Canadian twist on ensuring gig workers have security. Canada might innovate on cooperative gig platforms or benefits for gig workers. Also, expect continued innovation in fintech, digital banking, crypto management, as cashless transactions dominate. Canada has embraced fintech, e.g. open banking likely coming, which can spawn new ventures. 5. Supportive ecosystem and government role. Canada's government and corporate environment has recognized the importance of innovation to economic growth. R&D spending and venture funding have been climbing. The government's Immigration Levels Plan is bringing in more entrepreneurs and tech talent. There's even a digital nomad visa in discussion and startup visa program expansion. With aging demographics, the country needs entrepreneurship to drive productivity, so policies will likely stay supportive. Think lower small biz taxes, currently 9% Fed. Could they go lower or thresholds rise? More grants for startups and pushing education in entrepreneurship. We see more university incubators, coding in schools, etc. The culture, too, is shifting. Being an entrepreneur is becoming a more respected, viable career path in Canada, where historically many preferred stable jobs. A statistic: 76% of Canadians have a positive view of entrepreneurs, which bodes well for a vibrant culture of innovation. By 2030, we might see entrepreneurship taught as a basic skill and many young Canadians opting to start businesses early in their careers. 6. Globalization and new markets. Canadian businesses of the future will be even more globally oriented. With free trade agreements, CETA with Europe, CPTPP with Asia Pacific, etc., entrepreneurs can tap international markets more easily. We saw earlier that Canadian entrepreneurs anticipate gaining a large chunk of revenue from abroad, 25% or more, and rank number 1 in introducing globally new products. That trend should continue. We'll see born global startups from Canada that serve worldwide customer bases via digital platforms from day one. Also, immigrant entrepreneurs help bridge Canada to global networks, e.g., a startup by a newcomer might expand into their home region quickly. The future entrepreneur is as comfortable dealing with a client in Berlin as one in Calgary, thanks to tech. 7. Resilience and adaptability. If the last few years taught us anything, it's to expect the unexpected. Canadian businesses will likely build more resilience, diversification of suppliers, so not reliant on one country, stronger online presence to withstand any physical disruptions, and contingency plans for things like cyber attacks. Insurance products and government safety nets might evolve to cushion small biz in crises, given lessons from COVID supports. There's a rise in entrepreneurs focused not just on profit, but purpose, environmental, social. Canada's values align well with this. Likely more B Corp, benefit corporations, and social enterprises will emerge. For example, companies tackling Indigenous community needs, or climate adaptation solutions, or affordable healthcare tech for a public system, etc. Canadian consumers and investors are increasingly keen on ESG environmental social governance criteria, so startups that solve societal challenges while being businesses will flourish. We already rank top 5 globally for entrepreneurs who start businesses to make a difference. That ethos appears to be growing among young entrepreneurs. Summing up the future, Canada's entrepreneurship looks bright, more diverse, more tech-driven, more sustainable, and more global. Government and private sector investments are creating fertile ground. Think of the superclusters yielding new companies, or the fact Canada is 5th in the Global Startup Ecosystem Index. Challenges like labor shortages will push automation and upskilling. Climate goals will push clean innovation. Canadian entrepreneurs have proven resourceful, and with the tailwinds of strong support and talent inflow, by 2030, we could see Canada rank even higher as an innovation nation. We might see the next Shopify or BlackBerry emerging in AI or clean energy, solving not just Canadian problems, but global ones. And importantly, it won't just come from Silicon Valley clones, but uniquely Canadian approaches, leveraging our multicultural society, our strong public institutions, and our collaborative spirit. For entrepreneurs watching now, the future holds enormous promise. If you have a vision, Canada is striving to be the place where you can realize it. As we move forward, the entrepreneurial community will be pivotal in writing Canada's next chapter of prosperity and innovation. The stage is set for you, the future builders, to shape business in Canada, solve big problems, and in the process, maybe become the next great success story we celebrate. You've journeyed with us through business in Canada, exploring everything from starting up to scaling up, from present hurdles to future horizons. We've seen that Canada welcomes entrepreneurs. Whether you're a foreign founder, a student with a side hustle, or a local with a dream. We delved into where to set up shop, how to navigate the paperwork, what industries thrive, and how to ride the latest trends. We didn't shy away from the challenges, but we also saw that innovation and determination can overcome them, as proven by Canada's own business trailblazers. Now, it's your turn to add to this story. What will you create? The opportunities are here, in vibrant cities and quiet towns, in booming sectors and emerging niches. If you're thinking of starting a business in Canada, hopefully this documentary gave you knowledge, inspiration, and a realistic roadmap to move forward. Thank you for watching and exploring business in Canada with us. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content on entrepreneurship and economics. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Are you an entrepreneur in Canada, planning to be? What challenges or successes have you seen? Share in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going and help each other succeed. Remember, Canada's economy isn't just shaped by policies or big corporations. It's built by countless entrepreneurs and innovators pursuing their passions. That includes you. So until next time, keep dreaming big, stay resilient, and maybe one day your business will be the next great Canadian success story we're talking about. Good luck, and see you in the next video.